Tonight's game is being conducted according to the rules and regulations of the University Interscholastic League. Regardless of the outcome of tonight's game, all of the players have proven their willingness to work and sacrifice in order to achieve athletic excellence. We ask that by your conduct, allow these young people to feel pride in their communities and school. We also ask that you show your appreciation for the students who will be taking part indirectly in tonight's game. The cheerleaders, the bands, pep squads, drill teams, etc. These young people play an important part in their team's success. The officials for this game have been mutually agreed upon by coaches from both schools. We ask that you demonstrate the kind of respect for those officials that you would extend to any dedicated person in a position of responsibility. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the 50-yard line as we recognize the class of 2021 students and their guests who play a part in bringing you these Friday night football shows. Tonight is senior night, and on the field you will see the students and guests of all senior varsity football players, athletic trainers, band members, Blue Blaze members, cheerleaders, Cat Pack, and student council officers. Program sponsors are head football coach Greg Owens, athletic training sponsor Tammy Carroll, Wildcat band director Spencer Emmert, Blue Blaze director Meredith Dial, cheerleader sponsor Katie Williams, Cat Pack sponsor Caitlin Meadows, and student council advisor Megan Tingle. We would also like to say thank you to Landers Creek and Voss Graphics for donating the Senior Night Rally Towel as part of the Senior Night gift. Starting with football, Douglas Deloney, number 3, running back and linebacker, accompanied by his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Curtis Deloney, and his sister, Miss Keely Deloney. Colt Silman, number 4, wide receiver and defensive back, accompanied by his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Bruce Silman. J.J. Hall, number 9, running back, accompanied by his father, Mr. Alan Hall, and his aunt, Miss Kim Hall. Cable Glenn, number 13, wide receiver and linebacker, accompanied by his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jason Glenn. Reed Williams, number 14, wide receiver, accompanied by his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Michael Williams. Weston Fields, number 16, wide receiver, accompanied by his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jerry Fields. Devin Franklin, number 17, linebacker, accompanied by his father, Mr. Brandon Franklin, and his mother, Ms. Rebecca Torres. Cordarian Turner, number 18, defensive back, accompanied by his father, Mr. Kenneth Cork, and his mother, Miss Stacy Cork. Aidan Rogers, number 19, wide receiver, accompanied by his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Blake Rogers. Aidan Stribling, number 21, wide receiver, accompanied by his aunt, Ms. LaShondra Stevens, and uncle, Mr. Howard Stevens. Jesse Bailey, number 22, running back, accompanied by his father, Mr. Logan Bailey, and his mother, Miss Stacy Clayton. Madison Martin, number 25, linebacker, accompanied by his father, Mr. Don Martin, and his mother, Ms. Lori Martin. Alex Flecker, number 26, wide receiver, accompanied by his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Flecker. Adam Peckham, number 27, wide receiver, accompanied by his father, Mr. Bobby Peckham, and mother, Marcia Kate Evans. Bryson Taylor, number 29, defensive line, accompanied by his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Troy Wright. Osvaldo Hernandez Ariano, number 31, kicker, accompanied by his mother, Ms. Alejandro Ariano, and his grandmother, Ms. Rosalba Soria. Josh Tavera, number 33, kicker, accompanied by his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Aurelio Tavera. Griffin Crawford, number 44, linebacker, accompanied by his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Steve Crawford. Carson Fenton, number 46, tight end and defensive line, accompanied by his parents, Mr. and Mrs. David Fenton. Stanley Alba, number 56, offensive line, accompanied by his mother, Miss Anna Marine. Connor West, number 58, offensive line, accompanied by his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Mike West. Jacoby Yarbrough, number 65, offensive line, accompanied by his father, Mr. Miguel Fernandez, and his mother, Ms. Cassandra Yarbrough. Brighton Reuter, number 92, defensive line, accompanied by his stepfather and mother, Mr. and Mrs. Stephen Shanks, his father and stepmom, Mr. and Mrs. Curtis Reuter. Kyron Court, number 97, defensive line, accompanied by his mother, Ms. LaKenya Ross, and brother, Cy Ivory. Colby Albritton. Number 6, wide receiver, defensive back, and trumpet player. Accompanied by his grandfather, Mr. Stephen Jones, and his grandmother, Miss Tara Jones. Clayton Boykin. Number 50, offensive line and drummer, accompanied by his father, Mr. Clayton Boykin, and his mother, Mr. and Ms. Paul Hoppa. Matthew Sherman, number 11, wide receiver, running back, saxophone section leader, accompanied by his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rob Sherman.
Yes, get your phone.
I didn't hear it.
And now to the band, Jose Mejia, section leader, clarinet, accompanied by his father and mother, Mr. and Ms. Mejia. Mary Cruz, clarinet, accompanied by her father, Mr. Curtis Wright, and her mother, Miss Kathy Wright. Jackson Medellin, section leader, trumpet, accompanied by his father, Mr. Oscar Medellin, and his mother, Miss Amy Medellin. John Moser, trombone, accompanied by his father, Mr. Rick Moser, and his mother, Miss Kelly Gilmore. Joel Villarino, drum major, accompanied by his father, Dr. Mario Villarino, and his mother, Ms. Leah Larson. Ashley Rodriguez, flute, accompanied by her father, Mr. Vicente, and her mother, Ms. Fabiola Vicente. Jacob Beggs, tenor saxophone, accompanied by his father, Mr. John Beggs, and his mother, Ms. Rachel Beggs. Erica Pichardo, color guard, accompanied by her father, Mr. Jose Pichardo, and her mother, Ms. Yesenia Pichardo. Malaysia Alvarado, euphonium, accompanied by her mother, Ms. Reina Alvarado. Vanessa Tellez, section leader, flute, accompanied by her father, Mr. Saul Tellez, and her mother, Ms. Maria Tellez. Aaliyah Harrison, tuba, accompanied by her father, Mr. Brian Hill, and her mother, Miss Nicole Harrison. Chloe Anderson, flute, accompanied by her father, Mr. Tommy Anderson, and her mother, Miss Lindsay Anderson. Shelby Ray, section leader, percussion, accompanied by her father, Mr. Kyle Ray, and her mother, Miss Leslie Ray. Tyler Burnett, section leader, trombone, accompanied by his father, Mr. Chanyon Burnett, and his mother, Miss Candace Burnett. Alex Botello, section leader, trumpet, accompanied by his father, Mr. Valentin Botello, and his mother, Ms. Maria Botello. Brooklyn Arneson, section leader, French horn, accompanied by her mother, Ms. Amanda Arneson. Arnie O'Byer, section leader, Low Reed, accompanied by her stepfather, Mr. James Clark, and her mother, Ms. Ivy Clark. Bo Bankston, section leader, euphonium, accompanied by his father, Mr. Kevin Bankston, and his mother, Ms. Jennifer Bankston. And Brandon Williams, front ensemble percussion. And out to the Blue Blazes. Alexis Alaniz, accompanied by her mother, Ms. Brenda Hamby, and her father, Mr. Cruz Alaniz. Zanaya Gatlin, sergeant, accompanied by her mother, Ms. Natalie Gatlin, and her granddad, Mr. Nelson Gatlin. Desiree Hall, sergeant, accompanied by her mother, Ms. Yolanda Hall, and her father, Mr. Skeet Hall. Laney Horn, accompanied by her mother, Ms. Tracy Horn, and her father, Mr. Michael Horn. Calissa Johnson, sergeant, accompanied by her father, Mr. Neil Johnson, and her mother, Ms. Melinda Johnson. McKenna Lowther, sergeant, accompanied by her mother, Ms. Natasha Dixon, and her grandfather, Mr. Charles Minnick. Macy Peppis, co-captain, accompanied by her father, Max Peppis, and her mother, Charity Peppis. Kennedy Goldsmith, accompanied by her mother, Miss Christina Watkins, and her father, Mr. Jeremy Goldsmith. Aidan Walker Moore, captain, accompanied by her mother, Miss Shaniqua Moore, and her father, Mr. Dave Moore. And now to the cheerleaders, Claire Bybee, accompanied by her mother, Ms. Denise Bybee, and her father, Mr. Shane Bryce. Jaslyn Galvan, cheer, accompanied by her mother, Ms. Christy Price, and her stepfather, Mr. Shane Price. Emily Atkinson, co-captain, accompanied by her mother, Miss Tisha Harris, and her father, Miss Carl Atkinson. Katie T. co-captain, accompanied by her father, Mr. Jeff T. and her mother, Miss Amy T. Arlie Speed, Chair and Student Council Vice President, accompanied by her mother, Miss Serena Speed, and her father, Mr. Dustin Speed. And now the Student Council, Savannah Lilly, Student Council Treasurer, accompanied by her father, Mr. Stephen Lilly, and her mother, Miss Adrian Lilly. Jessica Yanez, Spirit Director, accompanied by her mother, Ms. Amelia Gonzalez, and her brother, Mr. Daniel Yanez. Tyler Warner, Student Council President, accompanied by his mother, Ms. Bryn Smith, and stepfather, Mr. Brent Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, let's congratulate all these seniors and their parents on senior night at Gerald Prince Stadium.
And good evening. Good evening, Wildcat fans. Welcome to Gerald Prim Stadium, where we've just concluded senior night. We joined in progress as they announced all of the, introduced all of the seniors and their parents for the last home game of this season here at Gerald Prim Stadium. We have one more game next week. Cutting our time for our talk with you before the game time a little short, as there's 4 minutes until kickoff. But the Wildcats taking on the Forney Jackrabbits tonight. The Wildcats have had a difficult season, as we know, 0-7 this season. But a bittersweet night for these seniors. It'll be the last time they get to play, the last home game. That last time they get to play here at Gerald Prim as a home game, as we'll have one more game next week, as we'll go and play the other team in Forney. Is that right, Ross?
That is correct. Next week we will be playing the North Forney Falcons, and that game, as we will, I will continue to announce during this game and in the oncoming week, that game is next Thursday, as Forney, North Forney, and Crandall all share a stadium. So the regular season finale for the Wildcats will again be next Thursday, and not only will it be on Thursday, but that start time will also be 7 p.m.
Oh, so a little change, change and change there.
Yes, those DFW Metroplex schools, you know, they get a bit of preferential treatment being
right.
in a huge area of naturally as the Forney Jackrabbits take the field.
Yes, and you know, we don't have a lot of time here, Ross. 3 minutes until kickoff because of senior night. I was just saying it's bittersweet for these seniors, but the parents have to be proud of all the players. Really, they've fought a hard season here, but they've done it with dignity and pride. And here we are at the last home game at Gerald Prim Stadium, and they again have just done well over the we've seen a lot of improvement with a lot of players over the entire season, game by game, and a couple of really heartbreaking losses, some very close games, and certainly last week's game was no exception where they lost in overtime. Scored first in overtime, then the other team had a chance, and of course scored scored a touchdown against our field goal, and that was that. The game was over, right?
That was unfortunately the week before that.
The week before, yes, that other. Yeah,
but you're exactly right. Another tough, heartbreaking loss last Friday, right here at the Prim. The Wildcats led against Greenville by as much as 8 at some points. Right. But just like you were talking about in Corsicana, and that loss to the Tigers, the offense kind of fell flat due to some consistency issues, which Coach Greg Owens has talked about over the course of the season. But luckily, the defense, just like you were saying, has really improved week after week. Last week, in fact, they forced 5 punts, a season high, and also forced 3 turnovers on downs, which, as far as I could tell, was also a season high in a game. So lots of improvement on the defensive side. If we can see some consistency, as I was just talking about with the offense, led by offensive coordinator Matt Young in this game, they could stand a very good chance to play spoiler tonight to the Forney Jackrabbits, who are currently the number 3 team in District 8-5A.
Right, and it's a great night for football, a little cooler. The wind has finally died down. Of course, everybody knows here that the wind has just been terrible the past couple of days, 40, 50-mile-an-hour gusts, and as we came into the stadium earlier tonight, we had a north wind of 15, 20 miles an hour. The flags were standing out straight, but that's kind of died down now as the Wildcats enter the field and get ready for this last home game at Gerald Prim Stadium. Certainly for the senior Wildcats, just under a minute left until kickoff. I don't think they're going to make it. We still have the national anthem to go and the coin toss and all that. A packed crowd here at Gerald Prim tonight. I'm going to say I'll use my guesstimator here on the home side here at about 400 here on the side of the Wildcats. A lot of folks coming up to honor those seniors. Not only the football players, but the drill team, the cheerleaders, the band, and some of those senior student council members.
Yes, just as you were saying, Chad, 20, and just for the football team, 27 seniors honored tonight. So a vast majority of this football team is playing their last game here tonight at Gerald Prim Stadium. So a lot of emotions, a lot of people showed up, just as you mentioned. But on top of that, lots of Forney folks made it out here. Yeah,
that's I'm going to get that guesstimator going at about 125 over on the far side. Here comes the probably the student prayer and then the national anthem.
Father, we thank you, Lord, for being here with us tonight. I pray that you put a hand over our teams as they play hard tonight, and over our band, cheerleaders, drill team, and seniors as they ride up the night on the field. We're thankful for this opportunity, and may we all do and say be for your glory and the good of those around us. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
And now, sure we'll hear from the Sulphur Springs High School band. And a cappella group. Fantastic rendition there, Ross.
Yes, it always warms my soul whenever I can see these local choirs perform, and congratulations to them for not only a difficult rendition. Of all my years being in choir, I don't know that we ever did a rendition that both had so many moving parts and so many moving pieces, so many melodic and counter-melodic lines, but a beautiful job there, and of course they have a number of seniors. It looks like at least half of that choir is seniors as well. So best of luck to them, and a great honor, no doubt, to be able to perform here at senior night at the Prim.
Yes, and of course, as we've seen in a couple of games, we have the entire, we've got the captains coming out for the coin toss. We have, that's Colt Silman, number 4. Then I have 58, 65, and 97 on the sides for the Wildcats. But the entire team has stepped out too, about 10 yards out onto the field to support these captains for the coin toss.
So those captains that you just mentioned were number 4, Colt Silman, as you mentioned,
right.
Number 58, offensive lineman Connor West. Center on the offensive line, Jacoby Yarbrough. Connor West is also a senior. And then another senior, but on the defensive line, LaKyron Cork.
So there they go. And it looks like with his Wildcats have won the toss, and of course, as it's so popular, they are going to defer and take their kickoff on the start of the second half. So the Forney Jackrabbits will be getting the kickoff here at the beginning of the game, and they've chosen the north end of the field so that they'll have, if we get a little bit more wind, it's all been coming from the north this week, so they'll have the wind to their backs to start this first quarter. So stay tuned here. Just any moment, we'll have the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff for this last home game here, senior night at Gerald Prim Stadium. I don't think there's much of changes on the roster. We didn't get a chance, of course, to go through the roster, Ross, but on the Wildcat side, I think we're going to see the regular our regular players. We're not much change over there on the Wildcat offense.
Yeah, you're exactly right. We've seen the quarterback for the last 2 weeks has been Brady Driver. Matthew Mitchell has, we were talking about before pregame, unless he was in the wide receiver position. He was suited up last week, but not even sure he made it onto the field. But regardless, could see a little bit of him tonight. If not, we could see some more of Brady Driver. And Driver did pretty well 2 weeks ago in Corsicana in the loss versus the Tigers. A little bit more shaky last week, and we were talking about it during the broadcast. The timing just seemed to be off. I think the secondary was just interrupting a lot of passing lanes for the Wildcats and just kind of messed up their rhythm. And then on top of that, Greenville sports a front 8 on defense, so it kind of made the run impossible to develop against that team. But they're really going to have to do that this week, and they've struggled with that the last 2 weeks if they want to win versus the Jackrabbits.
Here comes Uriel Santa Cruz for the kickoff, and he kicks it about to the 25-yard line, and that's number 8 that picks that up for the Forney Jackrabbits. He makes a little bit of a headway there and gets up to, depending on where they get spotted, didn't make it to the 40-yard line, but they're going to give it right on the 40-yard line. So the Forney Jackrabbits are going to have pretty good field position here on their side of the field on the 40 to start their first set of downs. Ross.
Yes, and it should be a big test for this Wildcat defense, because something Coach Owens was talking about during this week was that Forney sports a very methodical offense like we saw in versus Innis and Lovejoy, or maybe not so much Lovejoy, but the first play of the game, they handed off to the running back. That's number 2, John Richard Washington. And Washington has a decent first rush as he gets about 4 yards on the rush. Or I'm sorry, 3 yards. So it will be a 2nd and 7 upcoming for Forney on offense.
Yes, their quarterback left-handed, if I'm read the scouting report correct there, Ross?
Yes, you're absolutely right. He is a lefty, but he throws and runs very well. Something that's kind of tormented the Wildcats defense as a mobile quarterback. But once again, they decide to hand it off to, I believe that was John Richard Washington. He's able to break through a first tackle, but is then quickly swarmed over by some Wildcat defenders. He gets maybe 3 yards on the rush, so it will make it about a 3rd and 4 upcoming for the Rabbits.
Yes, making a little bit of progress there, but not what they need, really. They just need to get, and we've got a lighted down marker over there on the other side of the field. I'm so impressed. Greg Owens has spent a little money.
Wildcat showing blitz on the play. Jake White drops the snap, but he tries to dish it out to his wide receiver on the outside, but nowhere where he could catch it. So it will be an incomplete pass. No pass interference called on the play. That was, I believe, number 6 Colby Albritton on the coverage, I believe. And a great first drive for the Wildcat defense to force a 3-and-out.
Yes, this is going to be great. They're not showing punt yet. Everybody's staying in, but I think this early in the game they would, and 4th and medium there, I think they would be not doing themselves any favor to going for it, but they're going to go for it.
So with a chance to get a stop right about near midfield, the Wildcats defense trying to force a turnover on downs on 4th and 4, but the quarterback will take off with it, and he's got a lot of space as he gets to the Wildcat 40-yard line all the way to the Sulphur Springs 39. So the 3-and-out, not so for Coach Kurt McCain's defense, as the quarterback Jake White takes off with it and gets close to 15 yards for the first down. Gotta admit, Chad, it's a bit disarming hearing that Longhorn fight song on the other sideline. But Jake White keeps it, passes out to his wide receiver on the outside. That was number 13, yes, on the play. 13 being, that was Ashton Ford, just as the PA announcer just
announced.
But a very nice throw there to the wide receiver. Yes, 6.
Going to make it 2nd and 4 there before the time clock has a chance to, they're going to call it 2nd and 5.
So with a 2nd and 5, about 10 minutes and a quarter left in the first quarter. Driving, Jake White looking deep. He's got a man. Colt Silman's on the coverage, but that wide receiver could not get to it, and Colt Silman will be called for pass interference in the end zone, so it will give them 15 yards on the play, move it all the way from the 34 to the 19-yard line, so just inside the red zone.
Yes, Colt Silman going for the ball there just a little bit early. Nobody moving yet. Let's see. We're going to hear from the call here, or we see if the refs are mic'd up. I guess they wave. Nope, there he goes. Yep.
Number 4, a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, real good tight coverage by Colt Silman, but got hand in there a little bit too early before the ball got there to break up that play, and unfortunately, that's pass interference, and that puts him right in the red zone on the 20-yard line.
Yeah, great coverage from Silman there, but had he not wrapped up his wide receiver, that would have easily been 6 points for the Jackrabbits, but instead they hand it off to their running back, number 2, who quickly takes off and gets close to enough yards needed for the first down. In fact, he'll have more so. 11 yards on the rush for that running back. I believe that was, yes, John Richard Washington again, and a new set of downs for the Jackrabbits, and it will be a 1st and goal coming up from about the Wildcat 9-yard line.
We spoke before about John Richard there, has an apostrophe in his name. I wanted to make it Jean Richard, make it a little more fancy, but good running back, and we're going to see a lot of him tonight.
Yeah, exactly. He has runs really hard, has great vision, and we've seen that early here. Jake White on the fade route to the corner, and he had a wide receiver that was number 8, Elijah Merksen in the end zone, but another good coverage there by, I believe that was once again Colt Silman.
It was.
And with that, an incomplete pass, and it will be a 2nd and 8 coming up from the Wildcat 8-yard line. So we're about 2.5 minutes into the first quarter here. The Jackrabbits on their first drive of the game, and the first drive for either team on the game, and they are already inside the Wildcats 10 at the Sulphur Springs 8. White hands it off to John Richard Washington, and he keeps it himself, and faked me out, but he didn't fake that Wildcat defense out on the far sideline, as he only got, well, I guess it looks like they'll give him about 2 yards on the rush, or maybe 3. So it'll be about from the 7-yard line, it looks like, maybe the 6.
Great stop by the Wildcats defense. I was faked out by that as well, him keeping the ball. But the boys in blue down there, they saw that one coming and wrapped him up for short yardage.
So they'll only give quarterback Jake White a yard on the keeper, so it's a 3rd and 7 from the Wildcats 7-yard line. Big stop potential here for the Wildcats, and they hand it off to John Richard Washington, who is swarmed up by nothing but Wildcats. So no yardage gained on the play, so field goal unit coming out on the field.
Yeah, that was a fantastic stop by the Wildcats there. He just met him right at the line of scrimmage. I think that was Braden Morris, number 12, that wrapped him up and took him down to the ground with a no gain.
Field goal kick about to be tried. Kick is up, and it's a low kick, and it's good. So with that, the Forney Jackrabbits have taken the lead just under 4 minutes into this game at 3-0.
So we'll take a break, and we'll be back in just a moment for the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff. And we're back at Gerald Prim Stadium where the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff. The Wildcats are back to receive. Pick it up on about the 30-yard line. He makes a little bit of progress there, Ross, up to the 35.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That returner was Reed Williams on the play, another senior for the Sulphur Springs Wildcat football team. And not a bad return. He caught it. It wasn't the deepest kick, so he caught it kind of shallow, and as a result, there were a number of jackrabbits in his face by the time he could make the catch. So he tried to do a little bit of something with it, but the ball will be placed at the 39-yard line, which is where the Wildcats will take over for their first drive of the game.
Here comes the Hootens Hardware first down for these Wildcats.
Running back for the Wildcats, sweeping right out of the flat, and he dishes it out quickly to him, and he's got a nice block there on the outside, and he starts to take it upfield, but is pushed out of bounds by a jackrabbit, gets close to enough yards necessary for the first down. It looks like he'll be about 2 yards short, so a 2nd and 8 upcoming. That was number 22 for the Wildcats, senior Jesse Bailey, who caught the pass outside of the flat and took it upfield, 8 yards.
Great.
So a 2nd and 2 upcoming. Once again, Bailey moves outside to the right. He's looking for the pass, but instead they're going to dish it out to C.J. Williams on the attempted bubble screen, but pass was just a little too high as Driver had some pressure in his face, and as a result, a little too high for the wide receiver and an incomplete pass. So 3rd and 2 coming for this Wildcat offense.
Okay, yeah, that was a good pass there. He was really having to throw into some traffic there, and so it was well placed, but just couldn't come up with it.
Facing a 3rd and 2 after the incomplete pass to Reed Williams. They'll hand it off to Jesse Bailey, and he takes off right. He's got lots of green space, 45, 40, and he's taken down near the 35-yard line at the 36 for Forney. That was a 22-yard rush there.
For number 22, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Well, he knows how to do it.
So Jesse Bailey still back out there, and he will be on the far sideline. He'll be stacked up with Weston Fields. So lots of seniors getting some playing time tonight as Coach Owens wants to give them the best send-off possible. And there are 6 Jackrabbits on the line. Quarterback Brady Driver all in the backfield by himself. Lots of pressure coming, and he just had to throw it away. Jesse Bailey was all alone on that far sideline, but once again, he had 6 defenders in his face by the time he even got the snap, so he had to quickly dish it out. So an incompletion. It will make it 2nd and 10 for the Wildcats upcoming from the Jackrabbit 36.
Yes, I missed that last Hootens Hardware first down there, so here comes the Hootens Hardware 2nd down from Emory, Texas.
I hear they're just more than nuts and bolts.
They are.
And Driver fakes the handoff to Jesse Bailey, and he takes off with it. He's at the 25, the 20, the 15, the 10, 5. Touchdown, Sulphur Springs. The Wildcats take the lead on a huge 36-yard rush from quarterback Brady Driver.
And Northeast Texas Farmers Co-op says, way to go, Wildcats, as they go ahead in this ball game with 7:03 to play in the first quarter. The Wildcats will have 6, pending the extra point, against the Forney Jackrabbits 3. So here comes, we'll see, I think this is Uriel Santa Cruz again. Yes, he's down there to kick the extra point.
Santa Cruz, a junior for this football team, as he will attempt his first extra point on the night. It's up, and it's good. So the Wildcats take a 7-3 lead over the Forney Jackrabbits here at Gerald Prim Stadium.
We're going to take a break and hear from one of our sponsors, and we'll be back in just a moment with the J. Hodge Chevrolet Kickoff.
Welcome back to Gerald Prim Stadium here in Sulphur Springs as we've got senior night for the Wildcats, and lots of Sulphur Springs fans have come out as a result, and I bet they're glad they came out as we are, well, not even halfway through the first quarter here, just over 7 minutes to go in the first, and the Wildcats took a 7-3 lead on a 36-yard rush from quarterback Brady Driver.
Yeah, that was a great run. He faked me out. He faked that handoff and went right up the middle, and he was past the into the secondary before the Jackrabbits knew what had happened, and he dodged and made it on into the end zone. Here comes the J. Hodge Chevrolet Kickoff.
Yes, just like the old epic, he was gone with the wind, but the ball was kicked out of bounds, so looks like a likely kick out of bounds penalty, and it'll give the Jackrabbits really good starting field position, and presumably at the 35 or 40, and if it's at the 40, it'll be the same place where the Jackrabbits started last time.
Yes, and that they didn't get 60 yards to the end zone. They got 60 yards and then had to kick it and get 3 points out of it on their last drive, but hopefully looks like they're going to spot it at the 30, so okay. So
from their own 30 is where the Jackrabbits will start with their second drive of the night, and their second here in the first quarter, just over 7 minutes to go at 7:03. And the Jackrabbits, they've got a wishbone formation right now. 3 wide receivers out on each side, and White passes out to his wide receiver on the bubble screen, and he's able to evade a tackle. Zachary Fuller is, before he's able to get close to the yardage needed for the first down on first down. It'll be about a half a yard short, so second and inches coming up for Forney.
Yeah, good coverage by the Wildcats, but he just dropped back there and found a receiver. And so the Wildcat defense going to have to dial it up here, and I was expecting handoff there, but yeah, what do I know, right? I expected for him not to go for it on fourth down either.
But Fuller, the wide receiver who made the play on the previous play, as the Forney Jackrabbits are looking deep. I think he's looking for Fuller again on the far sideline, and wow, a beautiful coverage there by, I believe that's Cordarian Bull Turner on the coverage. It is,
yes, a great break up on that play as he just jumped, he almost intercepted it. He got his hands on it, but did a great job of coverage, and so I was kind of hoping he would come up with that and head back the other way. But third and still short for this Forney offense.
If the Wildcats could get another stop, it would be huge on defense. The Jackrabbits facing just a 3rd and 1. Quarterback Jake White takes off with it after he fakes the handoff to John Richard Washington, and the Wildcats wrap him up, but not before White is able to get the first down on a 3-yard rush.
Yeah, he going to make first down on that one, unfortunately, but Wildcats were ready for that sneak play, but just couldn't wrap him up before he gained enough yardage to get across for a new set of downs.
Yeah, you see exactly how good of a rusher he is on that previous play, and he hands it off to John Richard Washington again, and he's able to get behind his offensive lineman and quickly make his way through that hole and rush all the way for 11 yards for a first down, and now the Jackrabbits are back in Wildcat territory.
Yes, they're going to mark that ball about the 42-yard line, 47-yard line for the Wildcat side, and and they're coming up to the line. They're snapping this ball quick, trying to keep the Wildcat defense on their heels.
And he hands it off to John Richard Washington again, who tries to take it up the gut behind his offensive line, but the Wildcats are all over it, as I don't think he got any yardage on that play.
No, they're going to mark that as no gain, put the ball right back where they started there.
At the, what is that, the Wildcat 47?
Yep.
So still in Sulphur Springs territory, but with 2nd and 10 now after no gain on the rush. Quarterback Jake White looks right. He's going to be passing, and he's going to be passing deep. He's got Zachary Fuller on the near sideline, but just overthrew his wide receiver. Otherwise, that would have been a huge gain, over 30 yards.
Yes, that was on the coverage. Riley Hammonds on the coverage for the Wildcats, and it was good, close coverage, but the ball was really just overthrown, and the Forney receiver dove for it and couldn't come up with it. So that's big 3rd and long for these Forney Jackrabbits.
One thing Coach Owens talked about with this Jackrabbit team here at Gerald Prim Stadium tonight is that they're very methodical, very solid. They know what their role is, and they know what their role in the system is, and something we talked about with Innis. But quarterback Jake White looking for a screen, and it took a little bit to develop, but John Richard Washington takes off with it. He's at the 30, the 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, but there is a flag on the play. I suspect it will be holding against the Jackrabbits, but we'll have to wait and see.
Oh, goodness. That play just unfolded beautifully for the Forney Jackrabbits. A little screen pass, and there was just nobody there to cover him. And so as they talk about it,
yeah, just like you were saying, Chad.
So is that what was it?
It was holding.
Okay.
And you were talking about how there was just no one in the vicinity, and I thought the exact same thing too. And very rarely do you have a defensive situation where you just have a guy completely beat your defense like that. So the second that started to kind of develop and he had some open green grass in front of him, I thought that there was definitely going to be a holding call called on the field, and so it was. So the ball now placed at what I believe is about the 30, maybe the 29 for Sulphur Springs.
Yeah, it's going to give him about 15-yard gain on that play, but that's much better than a touchdown against the Wildcats.
So with a 1st and 10 now at the 29, White looking again for a screen, and he gets it out to his wide receiver, who's able to break a few tackles with some incredible speed and get close to another 1st down.
Yeah, that looks like that was number 8 for the Forney Jackrabbits.
Elijah Merkson, and you could see on that play just how quick he was as he's able to catch the ball and just as quickly take it 5, 6, or in this instance 8 yards upfield, close to a 1st down. White on the play action. He's got a wide receiver. He had 2 of them, but he threw an interception at the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and he runs out of bounds, or he's, tackled out of bounds, and as a result, a flag comes in. He was pushed out right about the 40, and now we've got a scuffle going on that far sideline. Oh, boy. Yep, another flag thrown.
More flags flying over there. That was Cordarian Turner with the pick, and ran it back and was already out of bounds, and was just mauled by one of the Forney Jackrabbits as, and of course he ran out of bounds on the Jackrabbit side. So a lot of emotion there on the other side of the field. Somebody's helmet came off, and so we'll have to see how many penalties there are. Maybe offsetting. We'll see. The officials are still out on the field discussing. 4:15 left in this first quarter. The Wildcats are up 7-3, and that interception really going to turn this game around for these Wildcats. He ran that back, about 30 yards, because he picked that about maybe about the 10-yard line.
Yeah, just about.
5, or yeah, he was down there. Looked like that was a very dangerous play for this Wildcat defense, as their quarterback had plenty of time to, and White had plenty of time to throw that ball through it deep, but into some traffic, and number 18 for the Wildcats came up with it.
Yes, Cordarian Bull Turner, and you see exactly why he's such a talented player for this group, and I already had him written down for a defensive play of the game for a pass deflection, but if the call stands on the field, which we're about to find out here in a second.
Here to run, we got a block in the back on the defense.
Oh.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike on the offense. Dead ball, unsportsmanlike on the defense. Those penalties will offset, will enforce the foul from the block in the back.
Okay, so as Cordarian Bull Turner was running that ball back, a Wildcat, somebody on the defense made an illegal block in the back, trying to help Cordarian Turner get down the field, and that's going to mark this ball from 10 yards from the spot of the foul, which is going to push the Wildcats all the way back to the 16-yard line, it looks like. Maybe the 15.5 there, Ross. But they're going to push that back, and the Wildcats are going to have their at least they've got the ball, and they're going to have their new set of downs here way back in their own territory.
So we are officially halfway through the first quarter now with 4:15 left in the first. The Wildcats still lead 7-3 after the interception from Cordarian Bull Turner and a couple of penalties, and did push Sulphur Springs back to their own 16. But just like you were saying, Chad, their second chance with the ball and their second chance to continue to build on their lead they've got here. They hand it off to, I believe that was Malachi Rowland, and Rowland was stuffed up at that line of scrimmage. I don't think he got anything on that rush.
Yeah, they were ready for that run, and they wrapped him up. That was actually number 9 there.
So J.J. Hall, one of the seniors, one of the 27 seniors for this Wildcat football team, and seeing a lot of senior play here tonight, as we've got some wide receivers we don't normally see in a lot of games. You've, of course, got C.J. Williams here on the near side, but a couple of wide receivers whose numbers we don't normally call. Driver dishes it out to, I believe that's 9, J.J. Hall again, and he's able to break a tackle and take it upfield and push out of bounds close to the Sulphur Springs 30-yard line, but instead they will mark him right at the marker, so a new set of downs upcoming for the Wildcats.
Yes, a great second effort there for him to stay in bounds as he ran it up. The Wildcats are coming up to the line quickly for this Hooten's Hardware first down.
And something that's kind of marred the Wildcat defense, led by defensive coordinator Kurt McCain, is wrapping up. You know, the ability to tackle special players in space. And if the Wildcats can return the favor a bit, as Driver takes it up the gut, doesn't get, well, maybe a yard on the rush, but if they can return the favor and break a couple of tackles and start to make some movement in open field, that can really help this Wildcat offense, who has struggled with consistency over the past few weeks.
Got Cable Glenn on the near side, Weston Fields on the far side in as receivers.
Driver still got number 9, J.J. Hall in the backfield with him. And then, of course, a B-back tight end. I believe that's Luke Caton on the far side. J.J. Hall motions out of the pocket, moves left, and takes it out of the flat. He's got a couple defenders on him, and as a result can't move east and west, and is swarmed up right about where he started to make some movement at the 25-yard line. So looks like they will actually make him lose a yard on the play. So a 3rd and 10 upcoming for the Wildcats.
Well, the yard that Brady Driver made, then they just gave it up on that play. So now it's 3rd and very long as they're pushed deep in their own territory on their own 26-yard line. The Wildcats have to make something of this to get a new set of downs, or they're going to have to push too deep. They'll have to punt the ball away.
And it looks like, yes, this is Matthew Mitchell in on the drive, and he tried to dish it out to C.J. Williams on the far sideline, but the pass was incomplete. So with that and an incompletion, it's 4th down, and the punt team coming on the field for Sulphur Springs. So while no doubt they most likely want to at least get a first down and drain some of that clock, as there's under 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter, quarterback Matthew Mitchell and the offense just couldn't get it done, as it was a net, well, 0-yard drive. Right. So with that, they'll be punting it back to Forney, and a Jackrabbit returner, number 8, Elijah Merkson, not very far back, not even at his own 40-yard line, and he'll catch it at his own 42. So the Jackrabbits will start with the ball at their own 42-yard line.
Yes, so it was, I think, Colby Albritton on the punt there. 32-yard net punt for Colby Albritton. And Forney Jackrabbits have pretty good field position. It's about where they started their first drive. They're 2 yards to the better here. They've only got 8 yards to get into Wildcat territory as they start on their own 42-yard line for their 1st and 10.
White hands it off to his running back. That's number 2, John Richard Washington, and Richard Washington has a nice rush. Gets pretty close to the 50. He'll be about 3 yards, 3 yards short, so it'll be a 5-yard rush on the play, so 2nd and 5 upcoming.
Yes, this Wildcat defense, I see Cordarian Turner in there. He's possibly looking for another interception here. Douglas Deloney's in on the defense.
And wow, a dropped snap by the quarterback, Jake White, and you don't see that a whole lot from seniors, and I think that was one of those cases of like a wide receiver getting his hands on the ball and starting to take off and then dropping it.
Yep.
And so White kind of muffed the snap a bit, and the running back on the play, that was number 2, John Richard Washington, had to just fall down on it. He did end up getting a yard on the play, so will be a 3rd and 9 coming now.
Yep.
And White, before he snaps the play, wants an audible, wants a new play, as he doesn't like what the Wildcats are giving them. And White gets the snap. He's in the pocket, he's looking deep, and no one out there. And oh my goodness! Wow, what an interception from Colby Albritton.
Absolutely, as the Wildcats come up with an interception. I think Cordarian Turner got his hands on it, and it bounced off of him, and Colby Albritton was right there to receive it. To be honest, a very bad pass by White. I don't know if it got tipped coming out, but he just threw it into a sea of blue jerseys down there. The Wildcats come up with it, so another turnover, and the Wildcats will start their 1st and 10 on their own 25-yard line. So here come those Wildcats.
Well, no doubt, Chad, that's my nomination for defensive play of the game as the first quarter is winding down. Just 23 seconds left on the clock, as that was, again, number 6, Colby Albritton, with an incredible interception. Matthew Mitchell dishes it out to C.J. Williams, and C.J., no open space there, as he could not record any yards after the catch. So he will be down right about at the first down marker. Maybe got a couple inches on the play, so a 2nd and 9 it looks like upcoming.
Yeah, they'll give him a portion of a yard there. We'll call it a yard, and it's 0-0 on the clock. That's the end of the first quarter. They're going to switch ends of the field, and the Wildcats will have the little bit of wind that's out there at their backs when we come back. So we'll hear from a sponsor, and we'll be back in just a moment. Wildcats are up 7-3 at the end of the first quarter. And we're back at Gerald Prim Stadium, where the Wildcats have the ball. It's the start of the second quarter. They got just one play in after that interception, Ross, at the end of the first quarter. The Wildcats are up 7-3, and we're seeing some very lively defense. We've got a defensive play of the game. We have we have an interception by Cordarian Turner, and then we have a tip by Turner that made an interception with, I think it was Colby Albritton who came up with that ball to get the ball back for the Wildcats. And so the defense is kind of on fire right now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Something that they've been able to get turnovers in games, but not have been able to rack them up like they have. I mean, that is 2 straight drives. The defense has forced a turnover, so they're playing, for all intents and purposes, lights out right now.
Right.
Looks like Matthew Mitchell is in, and he passes it to C.J. Williams, and C.J. drops it in open space. It looks like maybe a defender might have gotten his hands on it when Williams was trying to come down with the reception, but an incomplete pass, and another 3rd and very long for this Wildcat offense at 3rd and about 10, maybe 9. So Wildcat offense no doubt going to try and avoid a 3-and-out here, giving it right back to that Jackrabbit offense. But they've got some serious real estate to gain on a 3rd and 10. Fakes the handoff. He's looking for his wide receiver. That's Matthew Mitchell. I'm sorry.
That's number 11.
Matthew Sherman. I apologize.
Sherman.
One of the Mats. But
yes,
Sherman is able to get more than enough yards necessary for the first down, as he got 11 on the play. And that will be a new set of downs.
Yes, number 11 got 11 yards and pushed the Wildcats up to their own 36-yard line for their Hooten's Hardware first down. Here come those Wildcats.
And something that has also hurt the Wildcats, and we talked about this earlier with consistency on offense being an issue, but not only that, it hurts your defense because they're just on the field more. Matthew Mitchell had a lot of pressure in his face, but he almost got the pass to number 14, Reed Williams, on the play, but Williams juggled the reception, and as a result, a defender came out, tackled him, and knocked it loose. Incomplete pass.
Yes, the that defender for the Forney Jackrabbits kind of led with his helmet there on that tackle as Reed Williams was coming down with the ball and just popped it right out. But no flag on that play, and it's going to bring up 2nd and 10 for these Wildcats.
One thing that does hurt this Wildcat offense, though, is that when they do have a pass on 1st down and then it results in an incompletion like the last play, they hand it off to the running back, and he keeps it, and he is tackled up well behind the line of scrimmage. 2-yard loss, maybe even 3. So a sack on the play and a 3rd and very long for the Wildcat offense coming up.
Yes, Matt Mitchell was calling for a face mask there. I think he got grabbed around the helmet there, but no call on that either. So it's going to be 3rd and very long for these Wildcats. Got Weston Fields here on the near side, Colby Albritton on the near side as well. Matt Sherman on the far side. I think that's Douglas Deloney lined up behind him on the far side.
Sure is. But as a result of such a formation, Forney has no choice but to call a timeout. Or no, it's a delay of game penalty.
So that's going to push these Wildcats back 5 yards as they can't get it all set before the play clock winds down to 0. So it's going to make it 3rd and 16 for these Wildcats. So it's certainly we've got about 5 receivers lined up here.
Something Coach Owens has talked about in previous weeks is a lot of those mental miscues like penalties really pushing your offense back and stymieing all sorts of momentum. So if they can avoid things like, well, a delay of game penalty like they just suffered, maybe they can be successful. But I believe a Jackrabbit was offsides on the play. There is a flag thrown. Matthew Mitchell rolls out right out of the pocket and tries to pass it way deep to C.J. Williams, but it's incomplete.
Yes, I think that is going to be an offsides penalty.
There is a flag on the field.
Riley Hammonds almost got his hands on that ball, but unfortunately he wasn't. He was just over on the sidelines there. He wasn't lined up in on that play. So the Wildcats are going to get that delay of game penalty back and get 5 yards. And it still be a 3rd and 11 there for the Wildcats. So C.J. Williams was lined up as a receiver as well on that last play. Colt Silman comes in. He's going to line up on the far side and slot, I guess.
So Colt Silman in the slot on the far side. Douglas Deloney in the backfield with Mitchell, and he had C.J. Williams again, but just overthrew Williams again and just barely missed the tips of his fingers and results in an incomplete pass. Punt team coming on.
Yes, that was a pretty well thrown ball against the defender, but just a little too high. C.J. got his hands on it, but just couldn't come down with it, and so it's going to be punt time for these Wildcats. They're going to be punting from their own about 24-yard line. The punter's 34-yard line. The punter's way back on the 20.
And Santa Cruz gets the punt away, and a nice punt at that as he drives the Jackrabbit back just about to his 30-yard line. It will be downed at the Forney 31.
It's going to net out as a 30-yard punt there for Uriel Santa Cruz. And the Wildcats defense back on the field. This Forney Jackrabbit offense obviously discussing what they're going to be doing coming out. They're going to have to make some changes, try to move the ball a little bit more. The Wildcats are up 7-3 in the second quarter here. 10:16 left in this second quarter as ball's changed hands several times, but a few points on the board there.
Yes, the Wildcats just lead 7-3. They hand it off to their running back on the sweep, and he sweeps right, and he has some nice yardage before having to take it upfield and running right into that Wildcat defense. So he does get 3 yards on the play. It will be a 2nd and 7 upcoming.
Yeah, that was number 27 on the run for the Forney Jackrabbits, and they're lining up quick. They're going to take it again.
This time they hand it off to their main running back, their feature back. I believe that was number 2, John Richard Washington. Or no, it was not. It was
15 on
15.
the, yes.
He's not on our scouting report, so give me 1 second while I dish out the roster. That is Tyler Pruitt, a running back and a junior for the Jackrabbits.
He got about 3 yards as well, I believe.
So it'll be about a 3rd and 4. It looks like Jake White. He's looking deep. He's got a man. But once again, a Wildcat defender was there and almost pointed the ball in a beautiful time in which he could have come down with it, but was just a little too early and an incomplete pass. So it'll be a 4th and short for this Jackrabbit offense. And I'd imagine if their last drive was any indicator, or perhaps their first drive, they'll be going for here, and it looks like they will be. Yep,
that was Colby Albritton on the almost interception. Real good coverage. It looks like they're going to take a timeout no, they're just changing out personnel, and they are going to punt it. So they were faking us out. They're going to have to get the ball snapped pretty quick. 4 seconds left on the play clock, and they're not even set yet. And that's going to be a delay of game penalty right there. They blow the whistle before. And no, it's Forney took a timeout because they saw the play clock winding down too. So we'll take a break with them. We'll hear from a sponsor, and we'll be back here in just a moment. And we're back at Gerald Prem Stadium for this Wildcat football game, where they're up 7-3 with 9:23 left in the first half, and it's punt time for those Jackrabbits, but they took a little break there to talk about it. You think they're going to fake a punt here, or they were just worried about that play clock, Ross?
I think they'll kick it away. I think they learned from their last drive. If they give the Wildcats a decent starting field position, and as they've got a little bit of the momentum, they're going their way. Don't want to give the Wildcats any kind of upper hand. But a nice punt here as it keeps rolling past the Sulphur Springs 30 and will be down at the Wildcat 28.
Yes, that pretty good punt there, as the Wildcats couldn't come up with it for a return there. So that's going to be a net 34-yard punt there for those Jackrabbits. And then the Wildcats, the offense coming back on the field for their Hootens Hardware first down with little bit less than average field position, we'll call it, on the 28-yard line. This probably be longest, maybe the worst field position they've had so far. Ross is checking his notes as let's see who we've got in for quarterback.
So it's Matthew Mitchell, but he hands it off to Douglas Deloney, and he's able to barrel his way through his offensive line for about 4 yards on the play. So a nice rush on first down there by the running back, and it will be a 2nd and medium for this offense.
Yeah, he made all sorts of 2nd and 3rd effort there to get on up the field. There's a flag in the back, but that must be just a towel. So back behind Douglas Deloney there. Play clock at 10 seconds.
Matthew Mitchell gets a new play from the near sideline, and quick handoff to Douglas Deloney, and he is tackled in the backfield, so will be a loss of 1 on the play for the senior running back. And make it a 3rd and 7 upcoming. So the Wildcats will do their best to avoid another 3 and out here. Or rather a 3 and out for that matter. And wow, Matthew Mitchell swarmed up by the defense. I mean, the second he got the snap, there were 3 Jackrabbits on him. So a big loss on the play and a punt upcoming.
Yes, unfortunately, number 42 for the Forney Jackrabbits made it through the line pretty quick. That's going to be Mr. Cooper from the Forney Jackrabbits, and he wrapped Matthew Mitchell up pretty quick. And so a very long 4th down, obviously bringing in the punt team here, as that's going to be Colby Albritton back to punt.
Colby at his own 5 gets the kick away, and it might have hit a player, but it keeps on bouncing past the 50-yard line, but not much further than that, as it will be downed right about the Forney 45-yard line.
Pretty good net of 35-yard punt there for Colby Albritton. It's going to give the Forney Jackrabbits pretty good field position. They're only going to need a couple of just under 5 yards, it looks like, to get into Wildcat territory, so they're going to start on their own 45-yard line. So the Wildcat defense back on the field. I see Riley Hammonds out there and Douglas Deloney.
White fakes the handoff, takes it himself, and he barrels right into Cordarian Bull Turner, but not before he's able to get about 5-6 yards on the rush, so will be a 2nd and 4 upcoming.
Yeah, good second effort there as he got a few more yards out of that, and just like that, they're in Wildcat territory on the Wildcat 49-yard line.
White gets the snap, and he's looking all for number 3, Zachary Fuller, who was able to take it up the far side and get more than enough yards necessary for the first down. A gain of close to 15 on the play.
Yes, absolutely. They're going to mark that all the way to the 35-yard line, give him, that'll make it a 16-yard reception there, and they're going to be a little deeper into Wildcat territory for their new set of downs.
From the Sulphur Springs 35, lots of defenders incoming, and he quickly dishes out to number 3 on the shovel pass, and he breaks a number of tackles. He's in the 10, 5, touchdown, Forney. Wow, what a play there.
Yes, he made a good effort there to get through some of those Wildcat defenders and just kept going. Had a little bit of blocking there, but just like you said, made some athletic moves there, Ross, and got on into the end zone. So that's going to put these Forney Jackrabbits ahead of the Wildcats 9-7, and as we await this extra point.
Number 29, Braden Merchant, the senior kicker for the Jackrabbits, and a flag is quickly thrown on the field. The kick is up and good, but we'll see what the flag thrown is. And it looks like offsides, yep.
Yep, so offsides by the Wildcats. They're going to decline that and keep that points 10-7 with 6:09 left in this first half. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back here at Gerald Prim Stadium in just a moment.
Welcome back to Gerald Prim Stadium here in Sulphur Springs, as we've got senior night for the Wildcats football team. They unfortunately just surrendered a 35-yard rushing touchdown to number 3, a wide receiver for the Jackrabbits. That's Zachary Fuller, on an impressive, very late shovel pass from the quarterback, in which, again, number 3, Zachary Fuller, was able to take it 35 yards to the end zone to give the Jackrabbits back the lead with a good extra point at 10-7.
Here comes the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff, and looks like he was out of bounds there when he tried to catch it there. That was that Matt Sherman on the other side, or is that
hard to tell, but it looked like it. That or number 13 Cable Glenn, or number 14 Reed Williams, but
yep. So they're going to I guess he caught it, went out of bounds. They're going to mark it right there at the 35 where he was standing. And so the Wildcats are going to have pretty average field position here from the 35. Going to be their 1st and 10 as they come out. And Matthew Mitchell is still in as quarterback.
Coach Young has said in previous weeks that they like to go with the hot hand. And in recent weeks, that was Brady Driver, but perhaps since it's senior night, they want to give Matthew Mitchell his last big game as a senior here at Gerald Prim Stadium, his last home game, in fact, as he and 26 others will be experiencing this tonight, and you're seeing a lot of emotion on the field as a result, as the Wildcats were able to take a lead and just lost it, unfortunately, to the Jackrabbits, but no doubt they'll continue to fight. There is a flag thrown on the field.
On the kicking team, 5 yards into the kick.
Okay.
So some kind of penalty called. We missed it, but it'll be 5 yards added to the end of the run, so the ball will now be placed at the Wildcat 40-yard line.
Right. So they're going to have their 1st and 10 from the Wildcat 40-yard line. Just so they can get this new set of downs, and they'll magically be into Forney Jackrabbit territory.
Just over 6 minutes to go. Mitchell fakes the handoff. He's looking for his wide receiver, Cable Glenn, on the far sideline, and he nailed him on a nice out route from the wide receiver as he's able to get 8 yards on 1st and 10.
Yeah, great pass and a great catch. So they really connected on that and made a real good first down push there. So 2nd and 2.
So he will hand it off to, I believe that is number 9, J.J. Hall again, and Hall is able to get more than 5 yards, which is more than enough needed for the first down.
Yes, great effort there as he pushes on, and they're in Forney Jackrabbit territory as they're going to spot that ball on the Forney side, the 47-yard line for their Hootens Hardware first down.
That was Malachi Rowland on the previous rush, not Hall. I apologize, but Hall's still in the backfield with Mitchell. And Mitchell fakes the handoff. He's looking for Weston Fields on the near sideline. He had him deep, and he had his defender beat too, but just overthrown by the quarterback.
Yes, that ball sailed through the air at 30, 35 yards. A great long pass, but maybe caught a little breath of wind and just went too far. So Weston Field's going to sit this play out, and somebody else comes in on the near side here, number 27.
2 wide on each side, running back in the backfield. That's Malachi Rowland with Matthew Mitchell, and he's looking for Jesse Bailey, or I'm sorry, that was Adam Peckham on the near side, but some beautiful handling by that defensive back. That was number 1. Aaron Flowers, a defensive back to keep your eyes on, and he was just able to catch the side of the ball and very quickly deflect it. So impressive play by that Jackrabbit defender, but a 3rd and 10 for this Wildcat offense. 2 wide each side. Oh my goodness, and Matthew Mitchell is swarmed up in the pocket. Nothing but Jackrabbits were on him as he is tackled for another sack on 3rd down, which will kill another Wildcat drive.
Number 53 for the Jackrabbits on that sack as he just blew through the line and wrapped him up. Kind of like what we saw, that when they get ready to blitz, they can certainly handle it. That's going to force the punt for the Wildcats here. It looks like Colby Albritton in to punt.
Yeah, one thing about this Jackrabbit defense is that they are they're undersized, but they're tough, and you're seeing a lot of that here early. Over halfway through the 2nd quarter now, 4:39 left to go, and Colby Albritton forced to take off with it, and he's tackled at the 30-yard line for Sulphur Springs.
So unfortunate for this Wildcat special teams that they do not get the punt off, and the Wildcat punter is sacked deep in his own backfield, which is going to turn the ball over, and it's going to make it 1st and 10 for these Forney Jackrabbits deep into Wildcat territory on the Wildcat 31-yard line.
So the Jackrabbits now back on offense. White looking left, looking right. He's got a wide receiver deep in the end zone. And wow, Colby Albritton, beautiful timing there as he timed his jump perfectly to break up the pass.
Yes, an incomplete pass for the Forney Jackrabbits, and they were not looking for that. But just fantastic coverage by Colby Albritton, like you said, Ross. That's just good, clean pass coverage. That's what you like to see. So this defense still on fire, but the Wildcats are down 10-7 with 4:22 left in the first half.
And they hand it off to, I believe that was a running back, or I'm sorry, that was another wide receiver. No, running back, number 15, Tyler Pruitt again. That's the junior. And Pruitt able to get 7 yards on 2nd down, so it'll be a 3rd and very manageable at 3.
Tyler Pruitt, he's up the middle for about 7 yards. It's 3rd down.
So Jake White gets the play. They've got a B back, running back in the backfield with him, 2 wide on the near sideline, and a wide receiver on the far. And they hand it off to number 15 simply, and he quickly jumps around his offensive line and takes it all the way inside the Wildcat 20. So the Jackrabbits in the Sulphur Springs red zone at the 15-yard line. That was a gain of 16 yards on the rush. And that was number 15, Tyler Pruitt again.
Now this Jackrabbit offense coming together here. They're marching down the field. They're deep in this red zone for the Wildcats.
So they'll hand it off to number 15 again, and he'll try and take it up again. Try and take it up the gut again, but nowhere near successful that time around, as he only got 3 yards on the rush.
Yeah, they Wildcats were looking for that time, and this Wildcat defense is as the clock ticks down to about 3 minutes in this half. They're going to certainly be looking for a break here. Hopefully they can keep the Jackrabbits off the scoreboard, but they're down on the Wildcat 13-yard line.
2nd and 7. They hand it off to John Richard Washington again, and he's able to just barrel his way past the defenders and past the front 7 all the way to the Wildcat 3-yard line.
It's going to give him about 10 yards, but more importantly for them, a new set of downs. So that's not good news for these Wildcats, as it's 1st and goal for the Forney Jackrabbits on the 3-yard line.
2.5 to go here in the first half. White has trouble with the snap, but he gets it back, but he is swarmed up by some Wildcat defenders in the process for a sack. That'll be a loss of 1 on the play.
Yeah, so the Wildcats were all over that when they saw that muff snap. They bolted right through there and wrapped him up, but still 2nd and goal, and from the 4-yard line.
3 receivers out wide on the far side for the Jackrabbits, and a very high-placed ball, but a beautifully thrown ball to number 3, the wide receiver, Zachary Fuller, for a 4-yard touchdown.
That's complete to Zachary Fuller. Touchdown point.
So it's going to put 6 more points on the board for these Jackrabbits. 16-7 with less than 2 minutes to play here in the first half as we await that extra point. Looks like they're going to kick it.
Extra kick is up, and it's good. So the Wildcats now trail by 10 to the Forney Jackrabbits here with just under 2 minutes to go in the first half, 17-10.
We'll take a quick break as we get ready for the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff. We'll be back in just a moment. And we're back at Gerald Prim Stadium, where the Wildcats are back to receive the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff. With 1:59 left on the clock here in the first half, the Wildcats are down 17-7. The Wildcats has been their defense has just been on fire. They've been showing some very good talent out there tonight, but unfortunately the Wildcat offense has been 3 and out several times, and the scoreboard reflects that, as I think that's Weston Fields back for the kickoff, as well as Colby Albritton, maybe.
Yeah, so Weston Fields, and that looks like one of the running backs. It's hard to tell which one, but he takes it past the 30 up to the 31.
Yep, that was Malachi, number 8, I believe.
And a flag is thrown on the field, so could be a potential unsportsmanlike conduct penalty called against the Jackrabbits. We'll see, though.
Yeah, a lot of pointing from the Wildcats toward just one of the Forney Jackrabbits. Maybe some extended tackling after the play there. I think that was Malachi Rowland on the return there, and he got back up to about the 31-yard line, the Wildcat 31, so a good run back, and it's going to be even better if we can get 15 more yards out of this. Here comes the call.
After the play, we got an unsportsmanlike conduct on number 20. That player is disqualified.
Oh, my goodness. So unsportsmanlike conduct against number 20 for the Forney Jackrabbits, and that player is disqualified for the rest of the game. So there's 15 yards for the Wildcats. Going to move that ball all the way up to the 46-yard line. Still on the Wildcat side of the 50, but great field position for these Wildcats. And here comes the Hootens Hardware first down for these Wildcats, Ross. Pretty good field position as they keep moving the ball around, changing the ball out, and they've got the ball placed, and here come those Wildcats.
That was number 20, Dylan Patrick, the weak side linebacker and a senior on this defensive unit, so he will no doubt be sorely missed as the number 20, the starter, was ejected. But with a new set of downs, there is a flag thrown on the play, and it'll be called a false start against the Wildcats.
Yeah, they blew that play dead before it really even got started. So that's going to back these Wildcats up 5 yards, and now they're going to start their 1st and 15 from their own 41-yard line. So still a lot better than that 31-yard line where they had returned the ball to. But Wildcats only have 1 minute and 50 seconds in this first half to make something happen, put some more points on the board.
Mitchell still out there. He fakes the handoff to Jesse Bailey, and he gets it out to C.J. Williams, and he's in the clear. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, C.J. Williams, 59 yards.
Wow, what a fantastic play as Matthew Mitchell connects, and he runs 59 yards into the end zone as Northeast Texas Farmers Co-op says, way to go, Wildcats, putting 6 more points on the board here. That's going to make it 13-17 as we await the extra point. That play only took 10 seconds. I said they had to do something with 1 minute 50 left, and now there's 1 minute 40 left in this first half.
One issue is that something I alluded to earlier was that when your offense is out on the field so little, it wears out your defense. So hopefully they're not playing right into the Jackrabbits' hands by putting that defense back on the field. But regardless, the Wildcats get a touchdown, and now the extra point is good, so they trail by 3 to the Jackrabbits with just under 1 minute and 45 to go.
We'll be back in just a second. Wildcat football continues at Gerald Prim Stadium. And we're back at Gerald Prim Stadium. 1:40 left in this first half as the Wildcats put 7 more points on the board there, Ross, and bring the score to 14 to the Jackrabbits 17. So pretty close game we have here, and with 1 minute 40 left, and they've got Uriel Santa Cruz coming out for the kickoff. We thinking onside kick or?
Well, he did have that beautiful one a few weeks ago that, we swore up and down that it was going to be a good onside kick that was recovered by the Wildcats, but an illegal block nullified it. So, I wouldn't doubt it. It seems a bit early, but who knows?
Oh, and a squib.
Yeah, a little bit of a squib kick. It does hit a Jackrabbit, so he's forced to fall down on it inside their own 35-yard line, so it looks like it'll be downed at the 32.
Yes, so 2 seconds tick off the board there. The Wildcats have all their timeouts. The Jackrabbits have just 2 timeouts. They've got 1 minute and 38 seconds to try to make something happen. This Wildcat defense, who's been on the field a lot, made a lot of big plays, but they may be getting ready for a little halftime rest. So here comes Wildcat football.
Quarterback White passes it out to his wide receiver on the outside. I believe that was number 15, Jake Pruitt again, and Pruitt's able to get close to 7 yards on the reception, give him about 6.5, so second and very manageable coming up for this offense.
Yes, and the clock is ticking down 1 minute 20.
They're back to the line, set for the next play. And he's got a running back dishing out right, but instead he goes to the wide receiver screen on the far sideline, and he's able to get more than enough yards necessary for the first down, close to 10 on the play, and it will no doubt be a new set of downs for this offense.
Yes, and a lot of time taken up on that play. They're stopping the clock at 1 minute 6 as they move the chains very quickly, and the Jackrabbits getting up to the line of scrimmage very quickly as well. The clock starts again. Now it's under 1 minute. White
looking right. Looking left, and he's got a couple guys, but some defensive backs were draped all over them, and the Wildcat coaching staff did not agree with the no call on the play.
Yes, definitely some offensive pass interference on that particular play against Riley Hammonds, who would have intercepted that if he hadn't had carrying the weight of one of those Forney receivers on his back. That's going to stop the clock with the incomplete pass. 50 seconds left in this ball game. The Forney Jackrabbits on their own 48-yard line.
Jake White looking left. He's got a couple guys open, and he dishes it out to his wide receiver. Or then, no, that was his running back, number 27.
And he was quickly running for, and he's limping as he goes back into the huddle. But I think they're going to call a timeout here, and they do. 40 seconds left in the half. The Jackrabbits up 17-14. They've got the ball. They just crossed midfield. We're going to take a break with them, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Welcome back to Gerald Prim Stadium as the second half is winding down on, or I'm sorry, the first half is winding down on senior night for the Wildcats football team. They trail just by 3 now, 17-14, but the Jackrabbits do have the ball with under a minute left to go at 40 seconds, and at the not quite on the Sulphur Springs side of the field, or yes, they are on the Sulphur Springs side of the field at the 46.
Yes, and they've got 40. They've put a couple seconds back on the clock. They've got 42 seconds and still one timeout with their third and short here, third and about 4.
So White looking right on the wide receiver screen, and his wide receiver was all open. That was number 3 on the play, Zachary Fuller, who got the first down for the Jackrabbits.
Yes, he got about 12 or 15 yards on that to put them on the 34-yard line.
About 34 seconds left. White looking right again. He's got a wide receiver, Fuller, but wow. Oh my goodness, it was tipped by a defensive back. I believe that was Colby Albritton, but then somehow Zachary Fuller was able to come back to it and get the reception. So the clock does stop, but it is a first down and is moved all the way inside the 15 to the 11.
Oh goodness.
15 seconds to go. Jackrabbits looking to score here. And they've got a wide receiver, Zachary Fuller, on the far side, and he tried to extend his arm to get the touchdown, but it looks like he'll be marked just short of the plane. So 6 seconds left to go, and as a result, Forney has to call a timeout for potentially one last play.
Yes, it's going to put him down right on the goal line. We're going to take a quick break with them, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Welcome back to Gerald Prim Stadium as there are just 6 seconds left on the first half. The Forney Jackrabbits have a second and goal from the Wildcat 1-yard line.
Yes, and so what do they do now? Do they try to run it in? But if they don't make it, then they don't have time to kick it. So they've got really just one shot, just one play here. They have one. No, they don't have any timeouts, so this is just their last shot. It looks like they're going to go for it. They're going to go for broke here, for all the marbles, like they like to say, Ross.
And so as a result, Coach Greg Owens will call one of his last 2 timeouts, or I'm sorry, one of his last 3 timeouts.
Right.
So talk it over with his defensive unit and defensive coordinator, Kurt McCain.
So we'll take a break with them also and hear from one of our play-by-play sponsors here on Wildcat Football on KSST. Yep, we're back here at Gerald Prim Stadium, Wildcat Football. This is a kind of a tense situation here, Ross, as the Forney Jackrabbits come back out ready to run their play after a Wildcat timeout. Greg Owens got to see them line up, and then he called his timeout to change his defense. They're going for broke with 6 seconds left. This is going to be the last play of the first half.
In a tight formation, he's going to take it in himself, and he's got a touchdown. So that will give them a big touchdown as the first half winds down, and it'll give with a successful extra point, it'll give the Jackrabbits another 10-point lead.
Yes, 2 seconds still left on the clock. But the Forney Jackrabbits were successful in running that in, and I noticed their quarterback was lined up over here as a receiver on that play. He was all the way here on the sideline, so I'm not sure even who ran that in. That was kind of a trick play for them, and it worked. The Jackrabbits are up 23-14 over the Wildcats, pending this extra point attempt. And it's good, so that's going to be that 10-point difference that you were talking about, Ross. The Forney Jackrabbits up 24-14 over the your Wildcats. With 2 seconds left, they'll have to kick it off before they go to the locker room for halftime. We'll take a break, and we'll be back here in just a moment with the J. Hodge Chevrolet Kickoff.
Welcome.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
I was so excited, Ross.
Well, unfortunately, the Wildcats football team did just surrender a touchdown. Honestly, couldn't tell you who just ran it in, but it was a touchdown nonetheless from 1 yard out. It gives the Jackrabbits back their 10-point lead after they led just a few minutes ago at 17-7. The Wildcats scored a 59-yard touchdown, but then, of course, as we all know, the Jackrabbits just went on a nice drive of their own. They kick it away, and will be number 43, it looks like.
Yes, as time expires in this first half, 43 fielded the ball and made it all the way up to almost to midfield, but that kickoff was just really ceremonial as there were only 2 seconds left. Those expired, and that's going to be take us into halftime as the Jackrabbits are up over the Wildcats 24-14 in this first half of Wildcat football. We're going to take a break and be back with some stats here in just a moment for your Wildcat halftime. And we're back. It's Wildcat halftime, and here come the Blue Blazes.
Sergeants for this year are Janiyah Gatlin, McKenna Louder, Desiree Hall, and Calissa Johnson. Officers for the 60th line are Junior Lieutenant Sally Spraggins, Junior Lieutenant Emily James, Junior Lieutenant Jocelyn Yanez, Junior Lieutenant Olivia Worth, Co-Captain Macy Peppes, and Captain Hayden Walker Moore. The Blazes would also like to recognize their Spirit Girls and their Outstanding Blazes of the Week, the Seniors. The Blazes are under the direction of Meredith Dial and Assistant Director Kenny McGraw. Tonight, the Blazes will be performing an exciting chair routine to Give Me Some Lovin'.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the 50-yard line. The band is being led out to the field by drum majors Joel Villarino, Clayton Boykin, and Catherine De La Rosa. Ladies and gentlemen, here they come. Man, oh man, that Wildcat band. Tonight, the band is talking through the 2021 home season with our show, Be Our Guest. And we're excited to have our 8th graders with us tonight on the sidelines. It has been an exciting contest season for the Wildcat Band, culminating in last Saturday's first ever UIL area finals appearance for Sulphur Springs High School. Ladies and gentlemen, Sulphur Springs High School is proud to present the Wildcat Band. And now, the band would like to recognize a special group of musicians. Seniors, come on down. These 22 band seniors have spent 7 years achieving in the Wildcat Band program. Their example and leadership have led the way to the success of the band. They have been a part of the numerous first editions,
sweepstakes awards and ended their contest season with the first ever UIL area finals placement. And senior class of 2022, take a bow and be recognized. And now we are excited to present this year's Band Bo and Band Sweetheart. Presenting tonight is our Band Booster President, Shannon Sherman, and officers. The 2021 Band Bo is Bo Bingston. The 2021 Band Sweetheart is Shelby Ray. Congratulations to you both, and now, on with the show.
Well, another great performance by that Wildcat band, interrupting the middle of their performance to announce their Band Bo and Band Sweethearts, as well as recognize all the seniors, having all of them come out in the middle of the performance. That was kind of cool. And then back to finish out that great performance. Of course, our Wildcat band under the direction of Spencer Emmert. So he does just a fantastic job with all of his all of his staff and the band. So short time is 0-0 on the halftime clock. Of course, halftime ran a little long there. The Wildcats are lined up under the tunnel of their big helmet, and the Forney Jackrabbits are lining up on the backside of their tunnel as well. Ross?
Yeah, it's about ready to get the second half underway, and it should prove to be another good one if the first half was any indication, as the Forney Jackrabbits take the field.
Yes, and so like we talked about during halftime, those Wildcats, your Wildcats, will be receiving the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff at the beginning of this second half. So it'll be time for that Wildcat offense to get out on the field and make something happen and put some points on the board early to kind of balance out this this game, as the Wildcats are down 24-14. That 10-point deficit. They were down that before and came back a little bit, and then they're down by 10 again.
Yes, you're exactly right. And while the Wildcats were able to, just as you were saying, able to put some points on the board and get it within 3 just as quickly, the Jackrabbits got the ball back and then scored another touchdown. So one thing I mentioned previously is that the Wildcat offense, if they can't stay on the field and take some time off the clock, they will in turn hurt their defense by keeping their defense out on the field for a majority of the game, and you kind of saw that in the second quarter.
Yeah, we don't want to get them too worn out, but they've had a little break at halftime, and they know that the offense is going to get to start with the ball here at the beginning of this second half as the Wildcats take the field. Of course, we've switched into the field. The Wildcats will be going from left to right here. They're lined up deep in the ones to receive back here. I think I've got Malachi Rowland back here, and looks like Matthew Mitchell. No, that's going to be Weston Fields back to receive the kick.
Kick is away, and it's a high-flying ball. It goes straight to number 27, Adam Peckham, who will call for the fair catch right around the Sulphur Springs 35, just a yard short, or maybe 2. It looks like about we'll call it the 33.5-yard line.
There you go, and so that's where the Wildcats will start their first set of downs here in their own territory. And I like that, I mentioned this at the first game, I like that lighted down marker. You know, we complained about that for many years, not having a lighted down marker, and now we've got one over there. You think the crew that runs the sticks brings that, or you think Greg Owens that's an early Christmas gift for us? Because that's a lot easier to see.
You know, Christmas might have come early this year. But with the first set of downs and the first time on offense, the Wildcats will be led by quarterback Matthew Mitchell, who dishes it out to number 9, J.J. Hall, who's got it taken out of the flat, and he breaks another tackle before he gets past the first down marker and gets more than enough necessary for a first down. They'll give him about 13 yards on the first down pass.
Yeah, it goes great forward progress there, and so he's right up on the 47-yard line for the Wildcats, just 3 yards to get into Jackrabbit territory with a new set of downs. It's 1st and 10. This Hooten's Hardware first down for the Wildcats.
From their own 47-yard line, just short of midfield, they'll hand it off to J.J. Hall, who makes a nice cutback and takes it upfield past the 40, past the 35. There is a flag down as he stumbles down to the field inside the Forney 35 at the 34. We'll see what the call is, though.
Yeah, I think he just stumbled and lost his footing. The Wildcats are backing up here. Looks like this is it's going to be holding against the Wildcats there from the spot of the foul. That's going to repeat first down for there, but going to give them about 3 yards, I guess. They're having a little trouble with the chains over there trying to figure out what to do because it's from the spot of the foul, so it was late in the play there, so that's going to give the Wildcats 1st and 7.
So with a shortened first down, they passes it out to number 14 on the play, and that was a very nice pass to Reed Williams on the near sideline, who was able to get about 5 more yards, so it'll be a 2nd and 2 coming up.
Yeah, Reed Williams, a senior here, playing his last game at Gerald Prim Stadium. A great pass reception there to get the Wildcats a little bit closer to a first down into Jackrabbit territory here on the Forney 46-yard line.
2nd and 2. He dishes it out to C.J. Williams on the outside. He's able to break a tackle and get a number of extra yardage on the play, so it will more or less put the Wildcats right about where they would have been had it not been for the holding call.
Yes, what a great second effort there by C.J. Williams as he jumped over a defender and twisted around and got around another one and made what was going to be short of the first down. He got well enough yards for a Hooten's Hardware first down.
With the new set of downs, J.J. Hall in the backfield with Matthew Mitchell. He fakes the handoff and he has to leave the pocket because of lots of more jackrabbit pressure in his face, so he will throw it to the far sideline. No wide receiver around. Incomplete pass.
I tell you, when those jackrabbits are, when they decide to blitz, they blitz and they get through that line and put some pressure on Matthew Mitchell very quickly. And shorten that time that he has to get rid of the ball. But he got rid of it. An incomplete pass. Going to make it 2nd and 10.
J.J. Hall sweeping out of the pocket. He moves out of the flat and has one man to beat, and he beats him. Has a nice move around him, but is tackled by a jackrabbit inside the Forney 35 at about the 33-yard line.
A gain of about 6. It looks like they're going to spot him, maybe 5, and so they're going to call it 5. It's going to make it 3rd and 5. So very important 3rd down coming up for this Wildcat offense. Exactly what we talked about during halftime. They've got to convert.
So with a 3rd and 5 at the Forney 33, the Wildcats will look to convert. C.J. Williams sweeping left on the motion, and he has pretty close. No, I was going to say he had close to enough yards for the first down, but they'll mark him 2 yards short. So a 4th and 2 coming up.
Yeah, so a decision time for these Wildcats, and number 14 going in. Reed Williams going in on the far side. Looks like they're going to go for it. Also got number 1 on the far side. Is that Landon Fields?
It sure is.
Yeah. They've got 2 receivers here on the near side. Weston Fields.
Once again, J.J. Hall sweeping out of the flat. He's got a one man to beat, and he beats him again for the first down gainage. Wow. Almost 10 yards on the play on 4th and 3.
Yeah, great effort there as he got into the secondary of the Jackrabbits, and J.J. Hall certainly spun around and got on in there and gave the Wildcats a Hooten's Hardware first down. They're on the about the 23-yard line of the Jackrabbits, and so they're well into that territory, knocking on the door of the red zone here for the Jackrabbits and coming back up to the line of scrimmage.
Doing well to take time off the clock. A bit of trouble with the snap, but wow, the running back there on the play is just barreling through the defense. That's Douglas Deloney. Will they give him the touchdown on the play?
Yep.
Looks like they might.
So, yep. One official said it, one didn't, and but now the overruled Northeast Texas Farmers Co-op says, way to go Wildcats, as they put 6 points on the board very quickly in this second half, and the score 20-24 as we await the extra point here by Uriel Santa Cruz.
And it looks like it might have had a chance to be blocked by the Jackrabbits, but the kick is up and it's good. So the Wildcats pull back within 3 at 24-21.
Uriel Santa Cruz worked well under pressure there as he had Jackrabbit breathing down on him as he kicked that. Got it through the uprights. 8:27 left in this third quarter. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back to Gerald Prim Stadium here in just a moment.
Welcome back to Gerald Prim Stadium here in Sulphur Springs on senior night for the Wildcat football team. And maybe not a featured back, but one of the most prominent backs, Douglas Deloney, who's able to barrel his way over defenders, did just that just moments ago as he took it 23 yards out for a touchdown.
Yes, and the Uriel Santa Cruz comes out to tee up the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff for the Wildcats. He had a little squib kick that last time. We thought maybe he was going to have an onside kick. We've got, you never know. He's actually lined up way back where he would take a running kick instead of a short kick, but here it comes.
And it's a long one as two Jackrabbits had to travel way back inside their own 5. He will take it out. No fair catch called, and he's able to get it almost to the 20 to about the maybe 18-yard line.
Yeah, so probably the worst field position for these Jackrabbits, starting way back on their own 18 or 19-yard line, depending on where they spot it. And so this is here comes that Wildcat defense that has been just on fire tonight. So we'll see if they can make some big plays. As I see Cordarian Turner, of course, is in, and Riley Hammonds. Let's see, I've got another defender in, number 44, Griffin Crawford.
And they hand it off to the running back on 1st and 10, and I believe that was John Richard Washington. We'll see. Yep, John Richard Washington it is on the 1st down carry, and he's able to get about 3 yards on the rush, maybe, yeah.
Yep, and before he was absolutely popped by Cordarian Turner there, who put the hurt on him and took him to the ground.
2nd and 7 for the Jackrabbits. And they tried to go for the handoff, but ref blows the play dead for a false start penalty.
Yeah, that's going to back them up 5 yards and put them outside where they started on this 10-yard run. So that's going to be 2nd down, about 12 for these Jackrabbits. So Wildcat defense getting their play called in. See Braden Morris in on the defense, as well as Nick Cantillo.
Wildcats rushing 4. Jake White looking to Will Fuller again on the outside, but just like that, another beautiful coverage by, I believe, yes, Cordarian Bull Turner.
He is on fire tonight on this senior night. Cordarian Turner just jumped right up over the receiver for the Jackrabbits and knocked it out of his hand. Just perfect defense.
Something Coach Owens talked about in previous weeks as well, up until this week, the Wildcats were in playoff contention, but their loss to Greenville last Friday eliminated them. What's that? Just win this play. Don't think about the game. Don't think about the next play. Win this play.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Personal foul, hands to the face, number 99 on the defense. Holding, number 68 on the offense. Those penalties were offset, replay 2nd down.
Well, 2 penalties on the play, no harm, no foul, but also no incomplete pass on that either, where it would have been 3rd down. Now it's 2nd down again, 2nd and 12 for the offsetting penalties. Well, of course, we didn't see that. Our eyes were, that happened on the near side of the field, Ross, and all the action was on the far side of the field. That beautiful play by Turner.
White gets it. He's looking right. He tries to leave the pocket, but wow, he's able to juke a defender. Impressive play by the senior quarterback there, and it looks like he will have pretty close to the yardage necessary for the 1st down.
Going to make it 3rd and short, probably 3rd and about 3, maybe. Let's see, yep, they've moved up to their own 26-yard line. They need to get a little short of the 30 there to get a 1st down. It's going to be crunch time for these this Wildcat defense, as they can stop them right here, 3rd and 3.
One thing Coach Owens has also talked about is getting off the field on 3rd and longs. Well, this is a 3rd and short and would be a huge stop for the defense, but John Richard Washington's able to barrel his way forward, more than enough necessary for the 1st down, as he gets about 6 on the carry.
Well, I'll tell you, Nick Cantillo tried to get a hand on him as he came through the line there, and got a grab on him, but he's lined up against a pretty big offensive lineman there, and got pushed out of the way. So it's 1st and 10 for these Jackrabbits.
Fakes the handoff. White looking right, and he tries to dish it out to his quarterback, or I'm sorry, his wide receiver. That was number 13, the intended target on the play, but the pass was just a little too low from White, so an incompletion, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and he was kind of all alone over there. It was a short pass, but he could have, if he had snagged that, he could have gone places with it, but luckily bounced short, and it's 2nd and 10. They're still in their own territory, about on their own 34-yard line.
So 2 wide receivers out wide on the far side for Forney, 1 left. And they hand it off to John Richard Washington. right up the gut, and he's able to power his way forward for about 4 yards, maybe 5 on the play.
Well, fantastic tackle by Riley Hammonds there as he came through the line. Riley wrapped him up and took him to the ground. Had some help from a couple of more Wildcat defenders, but if he hadn't been there to grab him, it would have been a lot more. So great job, Riley Hammonds.
A 3rd and long for this Forney offense at 3rd and 6 from their own 38. Wildcats look to be showing blitz, and they sure are. But the running back, John Richard Washington, tries to take off with it, but the ball comes loose. The refs will blow the play dead, though, so the play will be blown dead. He did not get the yardage necessary for the first down, and as a result, it will be about a 4th and 2 coming up.
Yes, I have to say that that play was still very much in motion, and can't believe the refs blew it dead because that ball came out before he got to the ground. We'll have to watch Doug's replay on that one. They're going for it, 4th down.
Going for a 4th and 2. It looks like quarterback Jake White will try and take off with it. He's wrapped up by the Wildcat defense. That must be a turnover on downs.
Fantastic play by that Wildcat defense, including LeCyron Cork, who wrapped him up, number 97, who made the play for the defense. He absolutely made the stop. So another senior here on senior night at the Prim, LeCyron Cork, makes the play that turns the ball over on downs to the Wildcats, and that Wildcat offense is already on the field. The Jackrabbits are over there talking about it still. They're trying to figure out what happened on that one now. They're slow to come back out on the field for their defense, as Wildcats have fantastic field position on the 43-yard line on the Jackrabbit side of the field. So here comes your Wildcat offense. Matthew Mitchell still in as quarterback.
And Forney having to call a timeout on the first play for the Wildcats on offense.
Yeah, they took a little time there trying to decide what to do before their defense came out. So we're going to take a timeout with them, and we'll be back here. Wildcat football continues on KSST here in just a moment. And welcome back to Wildcat football here at Gerald Prim Stadium, where the Wildcats have just gotten the ball. Turnover by Downs. A great play by the Wildcat defense. It's 1st and 10 for these Wildcats on the Jackrabbit 43-yard line.
First play from scrimmage, Matthew Mitchell will fake the handoff to his running back. That's Malachi Rowland, and he tries to take off with it, but is quickly taken down behind the line of scrimmage. So a loss of 2 on the quarterback keeper, and we'll make it a 2nd and 12.
Yes, great scrambling by Matthew Mitchell there. That he just couldn't find anybody to connect with, and had a little extra time to throw it, but couldn't find a receiver. So loss of 2.
2nd and 12 here for the Wildcats. He'll fake the handoff again. He passes out to C.J. Williams on a beautiful slant route, tucked right in between the linebackers and safety, as he turned a 2nd and 12 into a 3rd and about 3.
Yes, the defender there got quite a pop there as he caught the ball, and great gain on the play there. So it's going to make it 3rd and 3. Wildcats on the 36-yard line of the Jackrabbits.
3rd and 3, under 5 minutes to go in the 3rd. Matthew Mitchell in the shotgun, but 2 offensive linemen move on the hard count, so it will be a false start. Makes a very manageable 3rd and 3, a 3rd and 8 now.
Yes, so bad news for the Wildcat offense here as somebody miscommunicated there, and a couple of linemen moved, and they back it up 5 yards. Now it's going to be 3rd and long. They changed the play. Got some personnel changing around here. That looks like Malachi Rowland in the backfield. I've got Cable Glenn on the far side, and Weston Fields here on the near side. Reed Williams on the near side. Going to take a big pass here. C.J. Williams on the far side.
Once again, Malachi Rowland moving out of the flat, and another beautiful pass from Matthew Mitchell to C.J. Williams as he extends for the first down. Wow.
Fantastic play by that pair. Says they move the chains on down for a Wildcat first down. Here comes your Hootens Hardware first down as the Wildcats are now on the 32-yard line. So great offense going here, Ross.
Yeah, and they need to keep it up if they want to continue to put the Otis on the defense for Forney. And handoff there to Malachi Rowland, and he's able to slip past some defenders, but not able to get a whole bunch more as he gets 3 yards on the rush. Maybe 2.
Yes, couple of yards on the play there as he tried to make that second effort there. Plays coming in here from the for the Wildcats. Weston Fields and Reed Williams here again on the near side.
Deuces left and right for wide receivers for the Wildcats. 2 wide receivers left and right of the offensive line. Malachi Rowland in the backfield with Mitchell. He'll be on pass protection on the play. He's looking for C.J. Williams again, and C.J. Williams is able to catch it, but stumbles.
So they're going to say he caught it and lost it as he was going to the ground. So they're going to call it a completed catch, but he fumbled it out of bounds, and so that's going to move it down to another first down for these Wildcats, and they're going to be all the way down on the 15-yard line, deep in the red zone here of the Jackrabbits, and here comes your Hooten's Hardware first down.
Inside the red zone on the first play, he'll hand it off to Malachi Rowland, and once again Rowland tries to take it up the gut, but once again there's nothing but Jackrabbits waiting for him, so it'll be maybe a 2-yard gain on that one.
Yeah, it looks like it. There was a lot of white jerseys there as he crossed the line, but you have to give it to him. Malachi Rowland, and you know, Malachi is just a sophomore, so he's got a long way to go with this Wildcat football team.
And the good news for Coach Greg Owens and his program is that he continues to show improvement, and he's doing it right now as he takes it inside the 10 all the way to the 5 and almost made 2 defenders miss on his way to the end zone. But again, he will be tackled inside the 10 at the 5-yard line.
They're going to call that just a little short of the first down. And so it's going to be 3rd and practically inches to get this first down. If they can get this first down, then they can just keep running the ball to get it in the end zone because they'll make it 1st and goal. They're on the 6-yard line. These Wildcats are moving down the field.
2 wide receivers left for the Wildcats. Mitchell will fake the handoff to Malachi Rowland and try and keep it himself, but he doesn't have nearly the speed that Rowland possesses, so he will be tackled right about at the line, so it'll be a 4th and maybe 1.
Yes, maybe he lost a couple of inches there and turned a couple of inches into a few more inches, and so they're going to go for it on 4th down. Of course, down 21-24 with 1:29 and counting in this 3rd quarter. These Wildcat fans certainly want this Wildcat offense to go for it as they turn up the volume here on this side of the stands.
Normally you usually do that when the opposing team is on 4th down, but I appreciate the enthusiasm nonetheless.
They want Coach Owens to know that they think they should go for it. It's all encouragement. And the Jackrabbits don't know what to do with that, so they're going to take a timeout. We're going to take a timeout with them, or that may have been Owens that took a timeout. We'll see. But either way, we'll be back in just a moment. Wildcat football continues here on senior night at Gerald Prim Stadium in just a moment.
Welcome back to Gerald Prim Stadium here in Sulphur Springs as the Wildcats, and led by head football coach and athletic director Greg Owens, are making a gutsy call here, choosing to go for it on 4th and 1 inside the 10 of Forney.
I think, is that going to be Malachi Rowland in the back? No, that's Douglas Deloney lined up in the backfield with him. They're going to give it to him.
And a wise decision there, as he will get more than enough yardage needed for the first down and a movage of the chain. So it will be a 1st and goal coming up for the Wildcat offense.
Yes, the Jackrabbits are thinking that he was short on that, but not so. The guy in the white hat who controls all of the officials are going to say that that was a first down, a Hooten's Hardware first down. I heard him say it from here, but we've got a player down, so we're going to have a injury timeout here for just a moment. We're going to, nope, that player is getting up, had his helmet knocked off, and he may need some help off the field. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with Wildcat football here in just a moment.
Welcome back to Gerald Prim Stadium. We've had a Wildcat player down before we took a timeout. The athletic trainers and staff are still tending to the down player. Hard to tell who it was. We thought maybe at first it was Douglas Deloney, but
looks like number 3 there.
Yep, so Douglas Deloney it is. So a tough injury to lose your barreling running back in Douglas Deloney, who is also one of the 27 seniors celebrating senior night tonight.
Right, he just took one for the team there as he just marched right through that front line and got that first down for those Wildcats. He's going to go ahead and make him first and goal on the 5-yard line.
You beat me by 1 second.
Yeah, is that what you were going to say?
Great minds think alike,
They do
Chad
think
Young.
alike. It's like we're watching the same game here, Ross.
Whew. So Matthew Mitchell gives it to C.J. Williams on the jet sweep, but he is quickly met by a bunch of defensive linemen for the Jackrabbits. So he will be tackled a yard. He will be tackled for a loss, for a loss of 1.
Yes, you know, as he tries to make that second and third effort, he spun around, tried to reverse direction, but there were just too many white jerseys there waiting on him, and they're going to back him up a couple of more yards. It's going to make it 2nd and 8. 2nd and goal on the 8 here for the Wildcats.
So he fakes the handoff. He's looking, and they knew he was looking for Weston Fields, and there's laundry all over the field.
Yes, a town and country cleaners moment there as all the laundry. There's got to be at least 3 flags down there. So I'm not sure if they saw the same foul. There's real tight quarters down there for these officials as they're right on the goal line.
Defensive pass interference number 1. Call will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
So that gives a new set of downs for these Wildcats as pass interference is called against number 1 for those Forney Jackrabbits. It really, I didn't see it, Ross. I have to be honest, there was just way too many too many players in there, but the officials saw it, and so the ball's placed at the spot of the foul, which is about the 3 or 4 yard line, I guess.
Appears to be so. They have it marked down as the 4. He'll hand it off to Jesse Bailey, the senior, who tries and breaks through a number of tackles, but once again, the Wildcats are stymied behind the line of scrimmage, and they'll spot it.
About the 5?
About the 5, it looks like, so 2nd and 5 coming up.
Yeah, he made a little forward progress to the 5 yard line, and that's going to be the end of the 3rd quarter as it's 0-0 on the clock, and it's 21-24. Where the Wildcats are trying to change the lead here and get into the end zone, but they're going to have to go down to the other end zone to do it. We're going to take a quick break as the 3rd quarter has ended, and we'll be back with the start of the 4th quarter here in just a moment.
Welcome back to Gerald Prim Stadium here in Sulphur Springs as the Wildcats football team have a very tough contest with the Forney Jackrabbits. We're about to start the 4th quarter, and the Wildcats football team trail by 3, 21-24, but they do have the ball inside the Forney 10 at the 5 with the 2nd and goal from the 5.
Yes, they're going to have many chances to put this in here. They got a couple and then got that penalty and then got a new set of downs out of it. Lost a yard on that last run. So this Forney Jackrabbit defense has really dialed it up against our Wildcats here. And the Wildcats are not giving up, though. They're going to get in that end zone one way or the other, it looks like.
They will certainly try, but the personnel on this play is 2 receivers out left, Cable Glenn and C.J. Williams, and then out right, I believe, is Weston Fields. Matthew Mitchell looking for C.J. Williams on the screen, but he is quickly taken down behind the line of scrimmage for a 3-yard loss. So once again, the Wildcats moving in the wrong direction.
Yeah, that was Weston Fields on the far side, and of course, it's also J.J. Hall was in.
I would say maybe Coach Owen should dig into the bag of tricks, but this Jackrabbit defensive line, they're so quick to get to the quarterback. You kind of need those quick developing plays. Matthew Mitchell looking for CJ again. He's got the touchdown.
Yes, he caught it right at the goal line and reached across as he was getting wrapped up. And the Northeast Texas Farmers Co-op says, way to go Wildcats, as they put 6 points on the board and go ahead of these Forney Jackrabbits, 27-24 with the extra point pending. So great for those Wildcats. That was perfect pass into a lot of traffic there.
Santa Cruz's kick is up. And it's good, so the Wildcats take a 4-point lead, leading 28-24, just under a minute into the fourth quarter.
Yes, 11:16 left in this ball game, and the Wildcats are up. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back here in just a moment with that J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff.
Welcome back to Gerald Prim Stadium here in Sulphur Springs as the Wildcats football team just took the lead on an 8-yard touchdown from C.J. Williams to go up 28-24 with just under a minute into the fourth quarter.
Well, Greg Owens took our advice and kept this Wildcat offense on the field a lot longer and giving the Wildcat defense a little more rest. And Uriel Santa Cruz comes out to tee up this ball for the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff. Now the Wildcats are moving right to left as he's going to be kicking what would be into the wind, but I think the wind's died down there. There's not much wind out there anymore. So beautiful night here for Wildcat football at Gerald Prim Stadium. This last home game, of course, is senior night. The next to the last game of the season as we'll be away next Thursday.
And as a reminder, that Thursday game is not only on Thursday, as Chad just mentioned, but it is also at 7 p.m.
Yes, so it's 24 and a half hours earlier than what it should be, right?
Math checks out.
That does check out. And the kick goes out of bounds, and so let's see where they spot it this time. We were trying to guess last time and just failed horribly. And it's going to be at the 30-yard line. So the Jackrabbits are going to come out with average field position on their own 30-yard line. They're hurrying up here because they know they've got to get something moving here.
Yeah, and that's one thing that's kind of against the Jackrabbits offense is that they're very methodical, they know their role, in the system, and they know the system. So the hurry-up offense isn't exactly their style. They don't like to play that up-tempo. They just kind of want to keep stuffing the ball down your throat.
Right, and that worked very well until they got up to about the line of scrimmage and met with Nick Cantillo, who took that runner down.
The junior defensive lineman continues to be all important for this Wildcat defense, and a nice pass from the quarterback Jake White, but a low throw, and the wide receiver number 6 on the play had to go down on the ground to catch the ball. It will be a completion to Andrew Gafford, but he only got 5 yards on the reception, so a 3rd and 5 coming up from the Jackrabbits.
This is when the Wildcat fans need to make some noise and get this Wildcat defense fired up, because this is where they can stop them and just have to punt if they didn't get a couple of yards out of this. It'd just be too deep in their own territory to go for it on 4th down. But what do I know?
3rd and 5 here. He hands it off to John Richard Washington, and he takes off. He breaks through 2 tackles and isn't able to break through a 3rd, but he is still able to get to the other side of the field to the Wildcat 49-yard line.
Well, that was a great run, but it was a great tackle, too, by Riley Hammonds, who took him down, because it was going to be if he had broken free from that, he could have gone possibly all the way. I mean, he had a lot of green ahead of him there, but it also involved Riley Hammonds, who took him down right at midfield.
2 wide receivers, left and right. But he'll hand it off to John Richard Washington, and he makes it past the 2 safeties, but is taken down by number 7, Riley Hammonds on the play, but not before he gets all the way to the Wildcat 25-yard line.
And also Cordarian Turner was in on that tackle. Some good play calling by the coaches over on the Jackrabbit side. They're all the way down the 25.
So Jake White looking right. He's looking deep. He's got a wide receiver in the corner of the end zone, but the defender was draped all over him, pushing him out of bounds. No chance for the wide receiver to come down with it, so it will be a pass interference call, and a huge one, as it'll move the ball all the way to the 10-yard line.
Yes, there was some pushing and shoving on both sides there, but certainly pass interference on the Wildcats, and so that's going to move the ball way down the field as they're trying to determine where they're going to spot it. And it's an automatic first down. Of course, it was already first down, but
Now it's a 1st and goal for Forney.
On the 10-yard line, and so with 9:18 left, and the Forney Jackrabbits trailing 28-24 behind your Wildcats. They're looking to put some points on the board, and they don't want just a field goal. That's not going to do it for them. They're going to want to put it in the end zone and put 6 points on the board, and then make a decision about an extra point.
From the 10, he'll hand it to John Richard Washington, who tries to break through the gut in the whole of the offensive line, but he's only able to get about 3 yards on the rush, and there are flags all over the field, so have to imagine this one will be against the Wildcat defense, but we'll see what the play call is here we'll see what the flag is in just a moment.
Yeah, it looks like there was some extended pushing and shoving after the tackle there. Madison Martin on the tackle. He comes out for this play. That's going to keep it first down, I guess, half the distance to the goal. Looks like they're going to put it on the 5-yard line.
Personal foul on the defense.
Yep.
22. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
So 1st and 10. Now from the Wildcat 4-yard line. 1st and goal. He'll hand it off to Jaden Brown. And Brown barrels his way into the end zone, but he is stuffed just short of the plane, so he will be tackled at about the Wildcat 1-yard line.
Yeah, they stopped. I see another flag on the play down there. There's a lot of passion coming out here at the end of this game. Both teams wanting to win here.
So waiting on that penalty call, but it might have been waived.
I guess they waved it off.
So Jaden Brown, or I'm sorry, that's a fullback in the backfield, and wow, he is quickly taken down by 4 different Wildcats. He didn't get maybe even a yard on the play.
He's slow to get up, but he's coming back into the backfield. Number 66 there for Nick Cantillo on the stop again.
That was an offensive lineman who just ran that play.
Well, there you go. Lined up in the backfield.
Yep. So a 3rd and goal from the 1. Quarterback that was a wide receiver behind center who took it in, and he gets the touchdown.
Yep, they're going to call that good, and they're going to put 6 points on the board for the Jackrabbits. It's going to put them at 30 with the Wildcats at 28, and so it's decision time here. If the Jackrabbits kick a field goal to make them 31, and then the Wildcats could tie it up with a field goal, or do they go for 2 and try to keep it to a touchdown difference? Looks like they're going to kick it. 7:52 left in the ball game. Yep, they're going to kick it.
Extra kick is on its way. And wow, it looked close, but it still made it in, so it's good. So the Forney Jackrabbits, with a touchdown and an good extra point, they go up 31-28 with under 8 minutes to go in this contest.
We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff here in just a moment. And welcome back to Gerald Prim Stadium on this senior night here at Wildcat football. The Wildcats down now 28-31. It's been a close game. The Wildcats have fought their way back and pulled ahead, and then the Jackrabbits have now pulled back ahead again. So the Wildcats are back to receive the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff. Let's see, I've got back to receive the kickoff. I've got Weston Fields, it looks like, back there, and I think that's Malachi Rowland on the other side.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and it will be Malachi Rowland, or not Malachi Rowland, it'll be Adam Peckham who comes down with it, and he's able to catch it right around maybe short of the 35 and able to take it close to 10 extra yards. So yeah, pretty dang close to midfield for the Wildcats.
So great field position for these Wildcats, as they didn't kick it very deep. They were kicking what would be with the wind, so we just kicked it too high. So with 7:46 left in the ball game, the Wildcat offense comes out. Looks like Matthew Mitchell's going to be in as quarterback still, and great field position. The Wildcats still on their side of the field, but on their own 44-yard line. So here comes your Hooten's Hardware first down.
So he fakes the handoff. Matthew Mitchell looking deep. He's looking for Weston Fields on the far side. And he had a defensive back draped all over him, but no flag called on the field. I thought maybe there might have been some kind of defensive penalty called on the defensive back on the play, but no call on the field, so it'll be second down coming up.
What you meant to say, Ross, is you think there should have been a defensive pass interference. But like we say, we don't get to wear the black and white uniforms up here in the press box, and it's just too far to throw a yellow flag from here. So that's going to make it 2nd and 10, and an unfortunate missed call by the officials.
And he hands it off this time to his running back, and I believe that's J.J. Hall on the carry, but he did get 6 yards on the rush thanks to forward progress. And yes, it is J.J. Hall. So nice effort there on second down to get a significant amount of yardage to make it a manageable 2nd and 4.
Reed Williams checks into the ball game here. Is going to go over to the far side there as we're moving right to left here. Your Wildcats. He's going to be lined up as a receiver as possibly Cable Glenn on the other side.
J.J. Hall sweeping left out of the flat, and once again Mitchell gets it out to J.J. Hall, and he's got a nice leading block from number 11, but nowhere enough yardage necessary for the first down. So a 4th and 3 coming up for this Wildcat offense. Decision time.
Yes, it's certainly decision time, and that was Matthew Sherman that turned around and gave a good block for him, but there were just too many defenders there, and so the Wildcats look like they're going to kick it away. They've got Colby Albritton back to punt it. Looking for a very high punt here. Punt receiver back on his own 20.
Oh, God. And the snap goes way over Colby's head, and he's forced to take off with it, but he's tackled inside the Sulphur Springs 30 at the 26-yard line. So crazy good field position for the Forney Jackrabbits coming up.
Yeah, very unfortunate special teams play there. The snap was just way too high, went over his head, and Colby kept his head about him, snapped up the ball, and it didn't just fall on it. He tried to run it to get, he knew they were going to get field position out. It was going to be turned over, but he tried to give them, give the Wildcats a little more cushion there. And just as quickly as the Wildcats have the ball, they're 3 and out, and now the Jackrabbits have it way down in Wildcat territory on the Wildcat 26-yard line.
So with the new set of downs from the 26, they will dish it out to Jaden Brown on the sweep out of the backfield as he took it out from the flat. He only got about 2 or 3 yards on the play, so it will be a 2nd and 7 coming up.
And that was Devon Franklin, number 17, that wrapped him up and took him to the ground. Great open field tackle there by Mr. Franklin. Taking their time.
White hands it off to his running back, number 15, or I'm sorry, yes, a running back, and he's able to barrel through the hole that his offensive line created and get close to enough yards needed for the first down. It looks like he'll be about 2 yards short, though.
Tackle made by Deloney. It's 3rd down.
So a 3rd and 2, or perhaps maybe a long 2, maybe about 1.5, but either way, a 3rd and very short for the Forney offense. And from the Wildcat 18-yard line, 2 wide receivers sweeping right on the motion, and dishes it out to number 15 on the option, but he is tackled behind the line of scrimmage, so a tackle for loss there for the Wildcat defense, and it will make a 4th and about 3.
Yes, and no surprise there, Nick Cantillo getting in and wrapping him up, taking him to the ground, and just pounding him to the ground, making it for a 4th, a very long 4th down here for these Jackrabbits. They show that they're going for it, but they're still getting something called in from the sidelines. 10 seconds left on the play clock. I'm sure they're going to call a timeout here. They're just going to let that run out.
You're exactly right, Chad. Just letting the play clock wind down. It hits 0, so Forney calls a timeout, and so
timeout Forney.
Going to talk it over with Coach Eric Fleeter.
4:13 left in the ball game. The Wildcats are down 28-31. These Jackrabbits have got a 4th down decision to make. We're going to take a break while they do, and we'll be back to Wildcat football here in just a moment. And we're back at Gerald Prim Stadium, where the Wildcats are down 28-31. The Forney Jackrabbits have the ball, 4th down and about 3. Looks like a long 3 there. They've decision time here for these Forney Jackrabbits. One of the coaches on the Wildcat side of the field trying to get these fans fired up and try to fire up this Wildcat defense as well. Looks like they're going to kick it. They're going to try to kick a field goal here. A little too far for them to go for it on 4th down.
A 27-yard field goal, or I'm sorry, 37. It's up. And it's good. So the Forney Jackrabbits go up 3 more, and it makes it 6-point lead for the Forney Jackrabbits with just over 4 minutes to go.
We're going to take a break, and we'll be back here in just a moment for the Wildcats to receive the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff. And we're back here at Gerald Prim Stadium, where the Wildcats are getting set up to receive the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff. We've got Weston Fields and I think Malachi Rowland here back again to receive the kickoff. I don't see the Jackrabbits a little slow to come out here on the field. I don't feel that they're going to kick an onside kick, but that's probably the best time to kick an onside kick. 4:08 left in the ball game. The Jackrabbits up by 6 points, 34-28. So I mean, we've got to still have a ball game here. There's plenty of time left for the Wildcats to get down and score a touchdown. Here comes the kickoff, and it's deep.
Oh boy, howdy is it, as Malachi Rowland kind of watches it go back, and wow, it looks like a defender or a Jackrabbit was able to come down with it right before it fell out of bounds. The Wildcats arguing their case, and Forney doing the exact same, but it looks like it'll go Forney's way, so it'll be downed inside. Oh no, even worse, my goodness.
They're going to give it to Forney. He grabbed it and downed it before it went out of bounds, and it's going to be, looks like it's going to be Forney football all the way down on the 3-yard line. Oh goodness. So a very unfortunate turn of events for this special teams on the kickoff. Deep kick went over the head of the receiver there for the Wildcats, and looked like it was going to go into the end zone, looked like it was going to go out of bounds, but a very quick Forney defender got down there and snatched the ball up, and it's Forney's ball right on the 3-yard line, 1st and goal.
So from their first play out from scrimmage, they'll hand it off to the running back, and the defense uses that frustration they just felt from that previous play on this Wildcat, or I'm sorry, on the Jackrabbit offense, as they tackled him right about at the line of scrimmage, so no gain on the play. So it'll be a 2nd and goal from the 2-yard line, so they will give him a yard on the rush. And now just 3.5 to go. Forney looking to put this game away if they can score a touchdown right here. And they hand it off to the wide receiver, Jeremy Pruitt. Or no, he fakes the handoff, tries and takes off with it himself. The quarterback, Jake White, does, but instead he is met by a litany of Wildcat defenders. So
I see a flag on the play, possibly holding. No, that's, you know, they shouldn't be allowed to have yellow towels.
It's 3rd down.
The players have yellow towels on the other team, and then when they get pulled out during a tackle, it looked like flags on the play there, which there's no flag on the play, and so we're going to take a timeout to talk about it here on both sides of the field, as it's 3rd down and a little bit longer now. So we're going to take a break with them, and we'll be back here at Wildcat Football, Gerald Prim Stadium, here in just a moment.
Welcome back to Gerald Prim Stadium here in Sulphur Springs, as the Wildcats football team had a chance to potentially either tie or go up against the Forney Jackrabbits, but fumbled the ensuing kickoff after Forney kicked a field goal to go up 34-28. So with that, Forney recovered all the way inside the Wildcats 10 at the 3. And 2 plays have gone awry for Forney at the goal line, as now it's at the 5 and a 3rd and goal here for the Jackrabbits.
Yeah, it's they're going to be able to, if they can't get it in the end zone here, they're certainly going to kick a field goal, and then that'll put them 9 ahead. So it's, but these Wildcats have got to do something.
Wide receiver sweeping left. That's number 13, but instead White is looking at number 3 all the way, and he looks like maybe he had a chance to come down with it, but some beautiful coverage there by the Wildcat defender.
Yeah, he bobbled the ball there as he was going down, and just couldn't come down with it, and so that's going to make 4th down, and sending the kicking team out here on the field for the Jackrabbits. Are going to try to put it through the uprights. Easy kick here. This is really close in. They're on about the 5-yard line, so he's going to be kicking it to just about the 12. So should be an easy kick. The Wildcats trying to distract the kicker. Almost blocked.
But it's good. So the Forney Jackrabbits go up by 9 at 37-28 with just a tick under 3 minutes to go in the game.
So we'll have to take a break, and we'll be back with that J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff here in just a moment. And we're back here at Gerald Prim Stadium, where the Wildcats are ready to come out to receive the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff. A little more discussion here before they come out. A little miscue on the last kickoff, where the Forney Jackrabbits were able to recover the kickoff and all the way inside the 5-yard line and turn that into a field goal. The Wildcats defense really dialing it up and keeping the Jackrabbits down to at least field goals, but a 9-point difference. And here comes the J. Hodge Chevrolet kickoff.
Kicking it deep to Weston Fields. Weston is back to receive it. He takes it inside his own 5, starts to take off with it, but he's got some Jackrabbits already in his face. Tries to flip field position, but is taken down, still inside the 10. And that's where the Wildcats will start with the ball with just under 3 minutes to go and trailing by 9.
Yeah, so it's going to be a long, this is going to be the longest field position for them of the ball game, as they're going to mark that right about the 10-yard line. And Matthew Mitchell still in as our quarterback, and got Douglas Deloney there in the backfield. I see on the far side, looks like Weston Fields and Reed Williams. The near side here, 2 more receivers. Going to be tough. 2:49 left in the ball game.
The Wildcats have to travel 91 yards and get a touchdown if they want to even hope to stay in this ball game. Matthew Mitchell looking left. He's got C.J. Williams on the near side, and C.J. Williams caught it right at the 20-yard line. So an even 10-yard gain and a new set of downs for the Wildcats.
So good pass completion there. These Wildcats are going to try to march it down the field. They're coming up to the Wildcat Hooten's Hardware first down very quickly. Going to try to keep the plays rolling as the play clock is rolling also.
Douglas Deloney moving out of the pocket. Still looking for Landon Fields, though, on the slant route, and he catches it about another 10 yards. Actually, it'll be 11 yards, so another first down and moved up to the 31-yard line.
Yeah, great catch by Landon Fields, sliding down to get it, and 2:16 left on the clock and counting. They're going to have to move this ball. They need to get it all the way down there.
Mitchell looking left. He's got CJ on the near side, and CJ runs out of bounds right about the 45, and they'll mark him out at the 44-yard line.
Yes, very attentive there as he catches the ball and runs straight for the sideline to stop the clock. 2:04 left in the ball game. No 2-minute warning here in high school football, as the Wildcats are down by 9, but they're moving the ball down the field.
Good news is on the previous play, CJ did run out of bounds, so that did stop the clock. 2:04 left. Clock restarts as the snap is delivered. And wow, Matthew Mitchell was looking for Weston Fields, and Weston Fields did have a step on his defender, but Mitchell was nailed by a defender.
Yes. So that's going to stop the clock as well. Incomplete pass, 1:59 left in the game. Ball on the 44-yard line. 2nd and 10 for these Wildcats. Are on their their side of the 50, so they've got 56 yards to go. They were going to try to get it all in one play there.
Mitchell gets the low snap, rolls out of the pocket, and he's looking for number 14, Reed Williams, and Reed Williams has got it, and it looks like he should have enough yardage for the first down. In fact, he looks like he might have been pushed out right at the first down marker.
So a great
First down, Wildcats.
great pass completion by Reed Williams, and the clock has stopped, still stopped, so yeah, they're saying he was out of bounds.
Mitchell fakes the handoff, looking left. He'll have to roll out of the pocket, though, as there was too much pressure coming. And he's taken down by two Jackrabbit defenders inside the 45 of Forney at the 43 of the Jackrabbits.
Unfortunately, they kept him in bounds, and the clock is ticking. 1:36 left in the ball game. It keeps ticking down. Wildcats have 2 timeouts left.
A minute and a half to go here in this ball game. Wildcats trail by 9. Fakes the handoff, looking left, and he's got number 11, Matthew Sherman, on the near side, pushed out just about the 30-yard line.
Yes, another senior, Matthew Sherman. It's his last game here in the Prim. This last home game, all the seniors. Senior night here, and it's a minute 20 left in the ball game.
Mitchell gets the snap. Lots of defenders coming, and not a great throw from Mitchell, as he had 3 Jackrabbits in his face even before he got the pass off.
Instead of taking the sack, he took an incomplete pass there and threw it kind of in the direction there of C.J. Williams, but a little out of bounds, and so stops the clock. Minute 15 left. Wildcats have 31 yards to go to get it into the end zone, but unfortunately, a touchdown and any kind of conversion won't do it. They're 9 points down, 37-28.
From the Forney 31-yard line, and Mitchell had a wide receiver who was open after a defensive back fell down, but Mitchell once again railed by the defenders, and another incomplete pass.
Yeah, certainly a good pass while he was under pressure there. As he got nailed as he delivered that pass, but Matthew Mitchell getting the play from the sidelines. A minute 12 left in the ball game.
Douglas Deloney moving out of the backfield. Matthew Mitchell on his lone, and he tries to get out to number 14. That was Reed Williams again, but pass was just too high for Matthew Mitchell, and so incomplete pass. 4th and 10 for the Wildcats.
Certainly, obviously have to go for it here, being down by 9 points, so getting the play called in. 1 minute and 8 seconds left in this ball game. The Wildcats down by 9.
Lots of pressure from the Jackrabbits, and C.J. Williams just was not ready for the throw from quarterback Matthew Mitchell, and it went right through his hands. Incomplete pass, turnover on downs for the Wildcats.
Yeah, there was a very close coverage there on C.J. Williams. He was looking for a flag there from the official, but didn't get it. And that's pretty much, that's definitely going to cement this game for the Jackrabbits as they get the ball on their own 31-yard line, and with a minute and 4 seconds left in the ball game, and the Wildcats with a couple of timeouts and probably not may or may not use them. They're just going to snap the ball, get in the victory formation, and close this one out for the history books.
White hands it off to running back Jaden Brown, and Brown powers his way pretty close to enough for a first down. They'll mark his forward progress 3 yards short of the first down, so it'll be a 2nd and 7. Clock keeps ticking with under a minute to go here.
Yeah, the play clock going to expire a little quicker, so they're going to run one more play, and that's probably going to be it, and keep it on the ground or just kneel it down. The game clock's under 40 seconds, which what the play clock will be on the next snap. They keep letting it run down. They kneel it down, and that's going to be your ball game. They're going to let the clock run out. No sense in the Wildcats calling timeout. That's going to do it. The Forney Jackrabbits have defeated your Sulphur Springs Wildcats here on senior night at Gerald Prim Stadium, 37-28. It was a very close ball game. We've said that way too many times, Ross. There's just been just heartbreaking loss after heartbreaking loss. Here's another one that they could have, should have, would have won, but unfortunately they came up short.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Chad, and I feel bad because, yeah, you're exactly right. We've been saying a couple weeks now that the Wildcats had a really good position to put them, position. They put themselves in a really good position to win a football game, and unfortunately for Coach Greg Owens and his program, it's kind of been different ways to lose the past few weeks, and that's not to take away from their on-field performance because, as we've been saying, the Wildcats have improved so much since the beginning of the season and so much over the last few weeks alone. The defense able to get some stops, Wildcats offense able to keep moving the ball down the field, but as I mentioned in my article today for Friday Game Day, it's just they just can't seem to put it all together for the win.
Yes, I agree, and they played with a lot of dignity and poise these past couple of games, even with these very tough losses right here at the end, and here's another one. But nothing to be ashamed of here on this senior night at Gerald Prim Stadium, as we saw some fantastic football plays, especially by the defense. And so as we talk about our defensive plays of the game, Cordarian Turner was involved in just about all of them. But the Wildcats come up short on this one again, and unfortunate. Ross will have the coaches show tomorrow at 9 a.m. On KSST 1230 a.m. and of course Channel 18, Suddenlink Cable as well. And that's going to do it for us tonight. I'm Chad Young with your color commentary, Ross Levinsky on your play-by-play, and of course Doug Hastings on our camera. And that the replay for this game will be available on YouTube as well as Channel 18 tomorrow as well. For everyone else, James Terry back keeping us on track at the station. We thank him as well. That's going to do it for us here tonight at Gerald Prim Stadium on this senior night. Good night. We'll see you in Forney on next Thursday at 7 o'clock. So there's two things to remember there. It's not on Friday. It's not at 7:30. Thursday at 7 o'clock will be right here on KSST 1230 a.m. for your Wildcat football. Good night, everyone.